it's a lot to take that feedback all the time and like be on the front lines of criticism. Not that I get a lot, but it's just suggestions.
Sure.
It's like it's never good enough.
Yeah.
It's like, but what if you guys did this colorway and this? And it's just I'm just one dude who like walks a lot and wears shirts and went to school a little bit.
That should be your LinkedIn bio.
Yeah, is that it?
One dude who walks a lot and wears shirts.
That's Jolly Gear.
Welcome to Backpacker Radio, presented by The Trek. I'm your co-host, Zach Badger Davis. Sitting to my right is...
Zach Badger Davis.
You did throw me off for a second.
You gotta watch the
That will
YouTube
only
for
be
that
relevant if you're watching on YouTube, as John's mentioned.
But I'm John.
As other Zach mentioned. Reminders. Yes, the first one is a big one. You've heard it at the top of previous episodes, but we haven't had a chance to squeeze it into the actual reminder section, is Viking is doing the best fundraiser of all time. Mm-hmm. If you guys can help us raise $10,000 for feeding the Carolinas, Viking is going to shave his beard at our live podcast on December 7th. The origin of this one dates back to us being drunk at the bar probably a month ago, and we were literally just talking about like ways that we could raise money for hurricane relief, and this was the first thing that came to my head. He's like, I love it. But I proposed to him at the time that the threshold would be $50,000. He's like, that's crazy, man. Let's go to $25,000. I'm like, all right, dude. All right, if you think that's okay. And then I called him later being like, dude, I think we got to go down to $20,000. Like, I don't think anyone cares that much about your beard. I think $25,000 is egregious. He's like, okay, that's fine. I understand. We're 24 hours away from launching. And I'm like, dude, I got to be honest with you. I don't think anyone cares $20,000 about your beard. I think we got to cut it in half. And at that point, he's like, I don't know, man. I feel pretty good about 20,000. I'm like, no, it's got to be 10. Like, if you want us to do this, it's got to be 10. So begrudgingly, he went down to 10. And we hit 33% of the fundraiser within today. As of this recording, we're on day 2 of it. So I'm on pace to look like the asshole here.
Yeah.
But if we do end up getting to 10,000 quickly, I'm going to find other incentives to make this worthwhile. I want to raise as much money as possible. Setting it at the $10,000 barrier for me was, if we set it too high, people are going to be like, no chance.
It's
like,
not fun.
Yeah.
It's like when we talked about lightning bolts and horse tattoos.
And that was like $100,000.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's just never
No
going to
one
take
played.
off. So it wanted to be realistic enough that people would actually pursue it. And we'll see if 10,000 was the right number or not.
You should call him right now and ask him if we hit 20, if he'll shave his head too.
Well, he has shaved his head, so I don't think that'll be as big of an ask.
No, but with no beard and no head. Come on.
I'm picturing the bad guy from Sonic the
He's
Hedgehog.
going to look like a cue ball. Dr. Robotnik.
All right, you fill some space right now. I'll call
Okay.
him.
Do you want another shot?
Oh gosh. Let's finish one of these first.
Okay. I'm just filling space here.
Yeah.
Yo, we're recording a podcast right now, just a heads up. Chance wants... I'll let Chance ask her question.
If we hit $20,000 for the fundraiser, can we shave your head too?
First of all, go fuck yourselves. Okay, I knew you were recording, that's why I answered that way. I mean, sure, like, whatever.
Okay.
I love the spirit.
Hang
All
up
right, see
before
you
he can
later.
change his mind.
Later.
Okay.
All right, so we've got it. So if we get to 20,000, he'll look like the bad guy from... What's the character's name?
Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik. So yeah, now you've got a new incentive. So
Yeah.
by the time this has come out, I think we'll probably have hit the $10,000 threshold just based on the current pace. Who knows?
Yeah.
But regardless, we're going to keep adding fun things to incentivize you guys to donate to this. So
We could just send like a mass email out to gear companies being like, do you have any leftover budget?
yeah. I mean,
Do you want to donate it?
how much hair can we take off of Viking's body? I think 30,000 is reasonable to ask for the pubes. So yeah, all the money, obviously 100% of the money goes to feeding the Carolinas, which is doing great work in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Also, if you guys want to experience the Viking beard shaving spectacular, that's going to happen at the live podcast. We still, as of this recording, we still have tickets. By the time this comes out, I don't know. Check the link in the profile, but we're heading towards a sellout, so definitely don't sleep on those if you want to go. Next reminder, we always include this at the end of the podcast, but I wanted to put it up front today, is if you guys like this podcast, subscribe. It's the best way to ensure that you're not going to miss future episodes. So thank you for doing that. And lastly but not leastly is if you're taking on a long-distance trek in 2025 and want to be a part of the trek, we are currently accepting applications to join our team next year. 2025 is going to be a banner year for us. We just hired Jess Stone, who is our community and marketing manager, and her job is to make the blogging program awesome. And she's already got a cool incentive program in the works, which includes mail drops for stand-up bloggers, discounts from some of the top backpacking brands. Maybe we'll talk to Jolly about that. And way more community interaction amongst the fellow Trek bloggers. So it's going to be an awesome year. And as I mentioned in previous episodes, we're going to fly out one top blogger at the end of the year to join us here on the podcast. We'll put you up for a couple of nights. Going to be a good time. Okay, let's not beat around the bush. Very excited for this interview. We had a chance to do it at PCT days, and I told him, I'm like, buddy, I think we have more fun in the studio. Let's make the real deal out of it. He's the one and only Bennett Jolly Fisher, is the founder of Jolly Gear, the maker of the colorful and functional Triple Crown button down. Jolly is a Triple Crowner who was inspired to design a new kind of hiking shirt while through hiking the PCT in 2018. Since then, Jolly Gear has produced limited runs of their signature pattern shirts for each class of through hikers. Jolly, thank you so much for joining us here on Backpacker Radio.
I'm already having fun, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, sorry to make you sit through that intro.
That's okay. I was just waiting for you to be like, well, Jolly's got a beard. Well, how much for that beard? I don't know. I was waiting.
Yeah. Well, if you come into the live podcast, we can put a dollar number on it.
I mean,
how long you been growing that?
I've had a beard since 2017.
17.
PCT attempt.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you trim it?
You know, I call it my bonsai. And so whenever I'm feeling a little stressed, maybe a little trim here, a little trim there, just keep it well groomed, but not too often.
Sure.
Now, recently, since hopping off the CDT in August, kind of like, a little extra trimming. So it's maybe a little smaller than normal, but always had a beard.
Yeah. How about the locks?
I was gonna say.
I know. These have been growing.
It's not often we get a guest that has longer hair than me.
I mean, this is long.
Feeling a little put out.
It's very mermaid.
Do you think it's longer than yours?
I think so. Come on. With how tall he is?
I guess, yeah. I
Shrink
was
down
going
his height.
proportional.
I also think it's the same color.
His is past the chest. This is like an Avatar where they...
Yeah.
Imagine they just grab
who
onto
controls
each
it?
other. What would you do?
So does that mean I'm part of the Ginger Squad? What?
Cinnamon Connection.
I accept you.
Yeah,
wow,
for sure.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
Honorary,
first.
for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, had a beard forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time you've cut your hair, that's...
Oh gosh. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really
looks
don't.
healthy. It looks like you get trimmed.
Well, actually, I don't.
Really?
Actually, I'm getting my second haircut in Logan, Utah, since I've lived there since 2018. Next week.
That's actually really impressive.
As
Thank you.
An older guy with thinning hair, does it grow better with the more often you cut it?
They say that it grows faster if you get frequent trims, but I think it just looks like it does because the bottoms are healthier.
Yeah, so you're not
but
breaking.
I get like all these little split ends. That's what I was picking at before the show.
Got it.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
But sorry, I was gonna interject again about the beard cost because my mom, she's like, it's your brand, son. You can't get rid of that. It's a logo. And then of course my fiance, she would also have a fit about it.
She likes the beard.
She loves the beard.
I guess that makes sense considering she's your fiance.
I
You've had it for a long time.
But I really want to box competitively for at least one event, and you have to shave your beard off for that. And so this could be a great way to. I'm just saying, we'll talk about it.
You could make a limited run of hats where instead of
No
the beard logo, it's just
eyebrows.
a chin.
Yeah. I like that.
You have to shave the beard because it acts as cushioning.
Yeah, because where's my chin at? Like, how do you punch?
That makes sense.
How do you punch your face with a beard?
Yeah.
You could just right through it.
So is this you opting into joining the fundraiser?
We could talk numbers.
Okay.
You and Jabba could then box on stage
Whoa.
with no beards.
Whoa.
Winner takes the hair.
That'd be. Whoa.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this.
I know he's a Marine, but you've got to have several inches of reach in this.
True.
Yeah, he looked like a tiny boy when he walked in here next to you.
He's cute, and he's huge. He is big. We actually went to the gym yesterday.
Nice.
I flew in and we worked out together.
Yeah,
that was the first thing we did.
That's cute. And then you guys went to the aquarium today.
Yeah.
How was that? What was the highlight of the aquarium?
Well, actually, this is hilarious. The sloth was really cool, and I know that that's not aquatic, but we saw a sloth and we got really close to it. The trainers had it out and we're playing with it. It was gonna paint. It was about to start painting.
Wow.
Yeah, we left before that. We also saw an armadillo that was 26 years old.
So the highlights of the aquarium are zoo animals.
Yeah, we didn't see the tiger. No, the cuttlefish.
Right.
What, the tiger?
Yeah, we were talking about the zoo animals, and I was like, I think they have a tiger, but I feel wrong saying that.
They have 2 tigers.
Where do they keep him?
They were just in there, like near the Amazon, like piranhas and then tiger.
Huh.
Yeah, no, the cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Cuttlefish was super cool. It was changing colors.
Yeah.
It was dreaming, changing colors. It was really cool.
Wow.
I want to talk hiking stuff before we talk clothing, but I think there's also a love question buried here.
Oh, yeah. You're also engaged.
Yes.
And it happened in the winds.
Yes.
Tell us.
Okay. So, in 2021, I attempted CDT Sobo. So we're getting a little into hiking. And I was up in the winds, was at Peak Lake, Knapsack Coal Alt, and was like, this is just gorgeous. Like, golly, this is amazing. So I was like, Emma should come back here one day. Fast forward, I get an engagement ring finally after working on it all summer. I'm like, oh, I need to propose soon because now I have it finally. Well, Emma's my fiance's name, she's like, we should go to the winds this weekend. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I don't have to
walking right into my trap.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to create any excitement. She's like super amped up about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me just plan a trip real quick. So we go up to Knapsack Coal, Peak Lake, and gorgeous weather. Just great. Like, you can't ask for better weather. And the winds, 3 days of no rain. We get there, and 20-mile day 1, to get to Peak Lake, get her nice and tired. We're eating dinner, and she is just exhausted. I'm like, we should go fishing. I bring a Tenkara rod when I backpack. We got to go fishing. And she's like, I just really want to go to bed. And I had been thinking all day. I was so nervous. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was like, I'm going to propose while fishing. It's going to be great. If I catch something, I'm just going to ignore the fish and be like all excitement, all the splashing, and then just have the ring. But if I don't catch anything, I was like, okay, well, what do I think of? So all day I was just like, what if I don't catch anything?
You got a lot riding on this fish.
That's a lot on the fish, right? Absolutely. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just... You're the perfect catch. You're the perfect catch. Oh, that's pretty good. So I'm like, no, babe, we got to fish. Like, come on. We're up here. Like, we only have 2 more days. Like, we got to fish night 1. We bought these, permits. Like, come on. She's like, fine. Let me go get ready for bed, and then I'll come out. And this is, it's backpacking. It's like 6:30 or 7 o'clock, right? It's not late. And I start fishing. I'm like, immediately, I'm not going to catch anything. Plan B it is. And she walks up a little quicker than I thought, but I had the ring in my pocket, and I was like, hey, we're doing it. And I just put the rod down. I'm like, get on one knee. That's okay, because you're the perfect catch. And will you marry me? She said yes. So I know. It was a great time. She started crying first, and then she said yes. Yeah. And then I didn't hear it through all the excitement and starting to cry, and I was like, was that a yes? I had to confirm. Well, it's an important yes.
Garrett says that he doesn't think I said yes. He thinks I just made a squealing noise and took the ring. I was like, that's very Gollum-like of me.
My precious.
Just give it to me.
Yeah. That's kind of how it felt. It's all just such a blur.
Yeah.
You're so nervous and excited. And
were you secretly bummed that you didn't catch a fish?
I caught so many fish later though, and I was up in the winds a couple weeks before that too, and caught 50 in one day. So the fish, I was a little upset about the story, but the story's pretty good too. Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of fish.
Is she a hiker as well?
She's done Montana with me, so 600 miles.
Hell
Yeah.
All right, tell me about what was the entry into backpacking for you?
Okay, yeah. So in 2014, we'll take it way back. Me and my dad were at the beach. We're on a family vacation at the beach in North Carolina. We go every 2 years with a whole bunch of people. And these other families were teaching their kids how to surf. And I was like, we're just bobbing up and down in the waves. I look at my dad. I was like, man, I wish my dad was cool like that. Teach me how to surf. Just really, messing with him. Yeah. And he looks at me and he says, well, what if we hike the Appalachian Trail next summer?
Oh, I see your surf and I raise you.
Yeah, like really, just way up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And the first thoughts run through my head. I was 17 years old, so going into my senior year of high school. And I was like, I don't have to decide where to go to college. Like, okay.
I'll do whatever you want.
I don't have to know what I want to do for the rest of my life. You're on. Let's do it. So I say yes. A few months go by. It's like October now. And I post on Instagram, back in the day Instagram, where it was actually just friends and family.
Right.
And they all saw it. And they were texting my dad, oh, you guys are hiking the AT next summer? That's amazing. Well, what is it? Tell us more. And my dad calls me, like right after I post, and is like, you were serious. We're doing this. Now you told everybody. I was like, yes, I'm serious. Let's do it.
So do you think he was not serious when he first
I don't know. That does beg the question of, would we have done it if I hadn't just been a teenager and posted on social media?
Sure.
But that happened. And then we decided that, Sobo made the most sense after graduating in May. And so we'll just start at Katahdin and Sobo. And so the AT was my first backpacking trip ever. No gear tests, no shakedown hikes, just straight into the AT.
Is your dad a hiker?
No. No.
Where did he get the idea?
I asked him this actually. So on day 1, we climb Katahdin, we come down. It's a big day. And he's coming from a desk job. At least I was in high school, I was active, playing sports, and I was ready to go. And no backpacking, heavy packs. Do that climb. We didn't have any gear. But day 2, heavy packs, fully loaded, 100-mile wilderness, 10 days of food. And I'm sitting there in my tent, we shared our tent, and it was dumping on us. It rained all day. And I was just crying, eating mashed potatoes with olive oil in it. And I was like, Dad, what are we doing out here? Then the whole next day I asked him again, why are we out here? So day 3, I'm just, Dad, what? This is miserable. Why are we here? And he had told me that, and I think he was 45, in his 40s. And he just, when you have kids, you put all of your dreams on the sideline. And all your kids' dreams are now your dreams. So you don't really get to do what you're looking, what you used to be passionate about, because now it's your kids. And he wanted to prove, as I was the youngest and leaving the house, he wanted to prove that he could do something epic. And so that's what drove him to the AT. Yeah.
Was he able to hang? Was it difficult physically? Because going from a desk job to the 100-mile wilderness is an insane 180.
So night 1, we're still with my mom and my brother and his fiance at the time, and he is my dad is cramping after the first day, just crazy cramping. We're like, okay, well, we said we're doing this, so we got to continue. But on day 3, he couldn't eat anything. He just wanted to go to sleep. That was it. And we've experienced this. When someone's like, how much food should I bring on this 3-day backpacking trip? I was like, well, how often do you backpack? You probably shouldn't bring that much, because you're going to be so tired, you're not going to be hungry. Now we know. But he had just overexerted himself so much that he couldn't eat anything. And he ended up getting, I forget the name of it now, but it's when you drink too much water but no electrolytes. And so you get you're water poisoning.
Yeah.
And so he had water poisoning where just no electrolytes. He was so weak. So by day 5, we're calling his cousin in New Hampshire and is like, hey, can you help us? What can you do? And we're in the 100-mile. We have so much food. The packs aren't getting lighter.
Right.
And we're going so slow. And we get out on day 6, and we decide to go down to New Jersey, where there's more civilization, and we hike Nobo for, 600 miles, maybe 700 miles. We hike Nobo to get back to Joe Mary Road in the 100-mile, and had a successful hike after that. But it was very difficult for him to get into hiking shape.
And then did you flip south back from New Jersey?
Yep. And then Sobo the rest.
Yeah.
How'd you find a ride in the 100-mile wilderness?
Yeah, his cousin. So we called his cousin in New Hampshire, who is a pastor. And I think it was Sunday, and he was like, I can pick you up on Monday. So we had to wait a whole day at this campsite. And, he came in and picked us up. We actually got a hitch out on Joe Mary Road because there were some college students doing research on, trail impact. And they were like, oh, it's a fee to come down the road. We'll save you the money, and we'll get you to the main road. So shout out to them. Thank you.
So when you're just zeroing for a day, waiting for the ride,
Yeah.
Tell me about your mindset and your dad's mindset. Like, are you guys thinking about quitting?
The plan was, so of course I was there. We shared a tent. I was there for every step of it. He was calling my mom, like, I don't know what to do. I think we should do this. Let's go to New Jersey. And so we had a plan. And my sister was in Indonesia for a little while, so she didn't really get to say goodbye. So they're like, oh, we'll drive up there to New Hampshire and then, see some family and then drive you down to New Jersey. So we had a whole plan enacted. So we decided to come back. My thoughts, though, were pretty much, I was 18. My thoughts were like, man, I could go for like some Doritos. It was very simple. I had no problem. It wasn't really my dream. So I was just like kind of along for the ride. It hadn't been very difficult for me up to this point.
Sure.
So it's like, whatever. I just remember eating a lot of Belvita and like digging through our food bags and we're leaving, and just like finding all the good food. I remember eating a ton of tuna.
Yeah.
So many tuna packets just sitting in a ditch.
Yeah. That is the highlight of backpacking when you're younger, is all the food. I feel like my love for the food component of it has diminished some as I get older, but I imagine in high school it's probably like 11 out of 10.
Oh yeah, you're like, Little Debbie's every resupply? Absolutely.
You had the birthday cake Oreos.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, but it's not like the food porn scene that it was. Like my first AT hike, the entire time I'm like, the food was what got me through the hike.
Yeah.
Every time I dipped in my food bag, like, this is a morale booster.
Yeah.
Now I have to like rely on nature and stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
So I imagine you didn't have any sort of traditional social experience on the AT, because that's a unusual flip-flop.
Yeah. No, actually, I think it was really nice. So we had a no-bow trail fam and a so-bow trail fam. Because I guess the way our timeline worked out, we were like in bubbles both ways.
Okay.
Of course, a Sobo AT bubble is like 13 people.
Sure,
but we found one.
That's cool.
But one thing that was super cool, since we had no experience, we did get to hike with the Nobos after 1,500 miles or so. And so we got to hang out with them, and they taught us a lot.
Sure.
So it was actually really fun.
Yeah.
And we got into a groove, and we were able to, by New Hampshire, had like a 5-person trail family of mostly older gentlemen.
Yeah.
So I didn't, I was just a kid.
Yeah.
But all, people a little bit older than my dad at the time.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun and learned a lot. Yeah. I think it helped our success. It was super intimidating because they were all like, what are you doing out here? They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we're on day 6. But my dad had already gotten a trail name by this point. In the 100-mile, he got the trail name Power Slide, because on all those main slippery rocks, he would just slide down the trail. He'd never fall. And I was like, that's not fair. Like, you're just power sliding down the trail, like no energy exerted, just moving forward.
Yeah.
And so he took the name Power Slide.
And at what point did you get jolly?
I got jolly on day 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're sitting in some trail magic, just kind of eating an apple, and there were maybe 10 people just sitting around, and they were like, you don't have a trail name yet? Like, what's going on? And again, 18 years old, stoked about food, stoked about everything. No financial burden over here with hiking with Dad. So I was just carefree. So they tried to name me like Optimistic, Sunshine, and I, of course, this teenager was like, I want a strong name, Thor, Lightning. I want something fast. And so I was like, no, Sunshine, that's okay. But we had gotten the advice from someone who was attempting, or like doing their second AT thru hike in the 100 miles, like, you should pack out hard candies because you can suck on them on the climb, you get sugar. And so I was carrying Jolly Ranchers. And we get up to leave this trail magic, and I'm like, we got this climb coming up. Do you guys want a Jolly Rancher? And they were like, Flyaway said, that's it. Like, Jolly. You got to go Jolly. And I was like, okay, I'll try it out. But again, I wasn't sold from the jump. Yeah. But tried it ever since.
I thought for certain that was, because in every photo I've ever seen, every time I've hung out with you, you've got the biggest smile. I thought for sure Jolly was more
and that
literal.
that was the roots of it.
Okay.
They wanted to name me something positive.
Yeah. I even think Sunshine would have fit well, too.
Sunshine gear.
yeah, right?
Totally. Jolly Ranchers are also fantastic on climbs.
Yeah. Have you had the crunch and cheese?
No. Is it like chewy in the center?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're discontinued.
Okay.
But
too many people died.
they were trying to crunch and they should have chewed. But no, they're fabulous. So they have like a soft center and a hard shell, and you just like suck on them for a little bit, and then it gets brittle, and then you get this nice chewy innard.
Damn. There's got to be a black market of them.
Oh, I have people looking, actually. Saw your water filters. Travis he hunts eBay. He has eBay alerts set up.
Really?
And we'll send,
for these?
Yes, and he's, for me. And he's sent me some before. And I didn't know all this backstory of, like, he had the eBay alert set.
Yeah.
And was like, looking for them, because when I received some of the mail from him, I was like, oh my gosh, you found them, how cool. And I just like ate them all. I should have cherished them. I didn't know.
He's sitting at home like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. He's like, now I know what happened to those. I think Emma did hide one bag, and I found it like 6 months later. So they lasted a little bit, but the first two, God.
Yeah. Is there some like dark network of large bearded people? You mentioned Travis, who's another Hall of Fame beard member.
Yeah. Is there a community of us?
Must be.
You just hop on trail.
Yeah.
That's it.
Has your dad done much backpacking since the AT?
He's done a little bit. Yeah. They hopped on the Camino for a little bit. They've hopped on the AT a few more times. My mom decided, she's like, I want to do the AT, and they decided to do it in sections.
Oh, that's cool.
So they've been hopping on it here and there. Yeah.
Is she doing the sections with your dad?
Yeah, they're doing them together.
And your folks are in Alabama?
They're in Alabama.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Jabba had mentioned on his last episode that your parents were trail angeling you pretty much through all of Colorado.
Like from Leadville to Grand Lake.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
nice.
So they came out here just to hook it up.
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With my dad being, a thru-hiker.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Sure.
And so it's been great. So like I attempted PCT 17. They dropped us off, like drove all the way with me and my hiking partner from Alabama to the Mexico border, dropped us off, and then supported us for 5 days. And then CDT 21 Sobo attempt drove from Alabama to Utah, and then drove us up to Glacier. So they love coming out to support.
That's awesome.
I know.
That's life goals.
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
Now I know what I'm doing when I retire.
Yeah.
Chasing my kids around the trail.
Exactly.
First, you gotta trick them when they're 17 to go do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that part should be easy.
Show them surfing, and then be like,
yeah, but see what's cooler than surfing?
Yeah.
You get it.
I brought you here to tell you
no
we're
sharks
gonna hike.
on the trail.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. So you said they followed you for the first 5 days on the PCT?
Yeah, in 2017.
Yeah. So are they just bringing you warm food, or like what kind of support?
Well, there's a lot of change from the AT. Like your first thru-hike to your second thru-hike, you're like, I want to go a lot lighter. I've learned a lot. So it's kind of just like they were there just to hang out, to give us like our first resupplies. But also like, hey, if I want to change the sleeping bag, like they had an extra sleeping bag, those kinds of things. Yeah. And then just, that trip we went out hard.
Yeah.
We did 100 miles in 5 days, went out pretty hard, and both got like knee issues. I was hiking with this guy named Cola. We both worked together in Alabama at a gear store, and our knees were toast. And so they helped us by like taking us into town, letting us get knee braces and whatnot. It was crucial.
Yeah. Have you connected with Professor?
I have. Yeah.
Another Alabama guy.
Also, Alabama Outdoors. We all worked there. So me, Cola, and Professor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but
same time?
Not at the same time. Yeah, I think he managed a different store. There's several of them in Alabama, in the Birmingham area. We worked at Homewood. He worked at Trustful. Don't quote me on that. But he worked at a different location. Was the manager. Yeah. So that's how when he attempted his calendar year, I like reached out. I was like, hey. Alabama
You've also
Outdoors.
got a giant beard. Should we be friends?
Should we be friends? This network. Yeah. And that connection was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. What shirt are you wearing on the AT?
On the AT?
Yeah.
Way back when?
Yeah.
I wore like a Nike Performance. What is their like top of the line brand? I just wore one of those, a short sleeve.
So at what point are you getting into fabric research, the performance of different materials? Like at what point does that curiosity get sparked?
Yeah, so we'll start with, we went to the aquarium today. And before the AT, I was 100% full steam ahead marine biologist. I had toured schools for like marine biology. I had done all that and got accepted and was like, okay, after the trail, I'm a marine biologist. And then
another cool job. By the way.
It would have been really
Your
cool.
Plan B is pretty sick.
Yeah, right? So fire's still alive, go in the aquarium.
Yeah.
But on the AT, it was like, whoa, there's a lot of gear. Like, this is really cool. This community, everyone knows their stuff. Like, I want to be a part of this. Like, this is way better. So in 15, that love for gear got sparked. And then I kind of changed my college plans, went to community college instead, and then found this program at Utah State, which is outdoor product design. And it's really, really niche into exactly what I'm doing now. And found that while I was in community college. And while I was at community college, I was like, I'm going to go hike the PCT in 2017. So 2 years after being able to finish my community college in 2 years, go out, let's hike the PCT. But the gear idea didn't even arise on the PCT in 17. I didn't get to finish my 17 hike. 18 was like, I'm out here for the summer. I was like, I think we need a button-up sun hoodie. Like, why does no one make this? That's not fair.
Yeah. What was the suit du jour for sun hoodies at that point?
Like, what were we all wearing?
Yeah. Because I was using an umbrella, so I was not team sun hoodie at that point. But I know now everyone uses sun hoodies.
Is very
Most
popular.
of them are in yours.
Yeah. I opted for a Columbia PFG, so just long sleeve. I love the button to breathe. Had the beard, was growing the hair. I like to be able to unbutton it. I get pretty hot. Sun hoodies, who was popular? Probably just Patagonias, right? Oh, Outdoor Research had theirs.
Yeah.
So people were wearing those.
I got sleeves. You know how you could just get the sleeves that aren't actually attached for the PCT? That's what I had gotten because I was like, I don't want a T-shirt and a sun shirt. I don't see any options I like. I'm just going to get these sleeves. And they showed up and I tried them on. I was like, this is not going to be.
What even holds it up?
Your body. It's just like it's like a tight. It's like a runner thing.
Oh, okay.
It was not the move.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems unideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember a lot of options from that year. When did you start in 2017?
May 5th, May 6th.
Another late start.
Yeah.
How far did you get?
I made it to Chester.
Okay.
Yeah, we straight no-bowed through the high snow.
When
Had
did you get to Kennedy Meadows?
Like beginning of June. We did the desert in 27 days.
Okay.
So beginning of June, yeah.
You passed me at some point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, there's places to pass people.
Yeah.
There's the nice
Definitely.
hostile scene back in 2017.
So you made it through this year that
Yeah,
year.
we did this year that
I guess
year.
being like 6'10" is a beneficial.
17 feet tall.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'4".
He's like, what are these puddles doing here?
Yeah, right.
I'll just step over this creek.
Yeah.
No problem. No, the river crossings were insane.
Yeah.
We had a strong group of 4 guys and just crushed it. We picked up 2 other couples while we were there. And so we had a pretty big group trudging through the Sierra.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine if we got to Kennedy Meadows at the same time and became friends. I could have just sat on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
All of it. It would have been phenomenal. My feet would have stayed dry.
They
Wouldn't
would
have flipped.
Yeah.
Wow.
17 was a good time. It was intense though.
Yeah. So why'd you get off at Chester?
I broke my ankle.
Ooh.
Like right at Sonora Pass, break the ankle. Which is such a bummer because that's right where the snow ended for the year.
Yeah.
And so we just done 300 miles of just intense snow travel. And like the last tree well, like the last one of the whole, because I went to Chester, so I saw what was past it.
Right.
But the last one I slip in and fall, break my ankle, 6-day resupply, bear can, and just pow.
Oh,
Did you know right away it was bad?
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah. Like
It
a
was
compound
bad.
fracture, like bent the wrong direction?
It just like rolled out. So like ankle was just touching the ground essentially and popped immediately, was the size of like an ostrich egg.
Yeah.
Just black.
How'd you get out?
We divvied up my pack. We camped. We were headed to, like, we were almost to camp for the night. So we just camped right where we were. Pretty great spot. Divvied up my pack weight. And then there was just like a random road out there. People don't ever hitch down to the town, but it's on gut hook. So you can. So we knew it was there. So we decided just to hitch down into that. And 20 miles the next day on a broken ankle.
Ugh.
Yeah, with no pack. They were like, no pack weight. So, but it was totally fine. Like, it was so swollen.
Trekking poles as a crutch, essentially.
Yeah, but it really wasn't bad. Like so swollen that it's just like it was immobile.
Yeah.
So like no tweaking really.
Yeah.
And we got to town and was like, okay, iced it for one day. Took one day off.
Did you take a heroic dose of Advil or something?
I don't think so. I don't remember taking much. I mean, I'm sure I took some, you know, but like the reasonable amount, like 4 to start the day and then 2 every 2 hours. No, like what we normally do.
Yeah.
But we got to this town and we zeroed for a day, iced it, elevated, and then was like, all right, let's go to Tahoe. And so we just hiked on, like kept doing 20s. And
so at what point do you get off trail?
I got off trail in Chester.
Okay.
Yeah, halfway. And my parents again came out to visit.
What was the decision that made you? I would imagine the first opportunity to get off is where you get off.
Yeah. So I started with my partner, Cola, but he's like, I got to get back for work. So I lost a partner. My other buddy we met on trail, lunch, Jewish carpenter. He's the one that, like, when my mom said, like, you're terrifying me, please don't go into the Sierra, I'm like, I'm with Jesus. We're totally okay. Jewish carpenter.
Is that his trail name, or is that just like
lunch? But he is a Jewish carpenter. Yeah. But his trail name's Lunch.
That'd be a good trail name too.
Yeah, right. I hiked with 300 miles. Yeah, is that 300? Yeah, 300 miles on a broken ankle. But the day I got off, I threw up that morning just from, like, I guess being so uncomfortable. And I was like, you know what? I'm also going to see the halfway marker. Let's just call it. Like, that'll be enough.
Yeah. Did you do any sort of permanent damage? I imagine hiking 300 miles on a broken ankle. I think
I was lucky because I was young, right? What is this, 20 years old now?
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky. I came home, and I did get the scare of that, came home, did an x-ray. My doctor comes in. This is like my football doctor from high school, and he's like, takes my dad out of the room to talk to him first. Like, that's how serious it was.
Yeah.
He's like,
your son's gonna die.
Yeah, I need just to talk to your dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have to put him down.
He comes in and is like, I booked an MRI for you right now. You need to go right now to go get this MRI in Birmingham, because we live in Pell City, so a little bit further away. So drove to Birmingham, got my MRI. We get the, and he kind of told me, like, you might have the arthritis of a 70-year-old at 25. Like, you might never really hike again. That's the news I got.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm like, what? It doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
It feels great. Of course I had to quit, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But he's like, there's this bone here, and you got, all that, the doctor stuff. But so I'm like devastated for like 48 hours. I'm waiting for the MRI results to come back, and it turns out I'm fine. I was in a boot for like a month. Like, that's it. It was totally fine. But it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because I got this really bad news. Some expectations were super low.
Sure.
And then he was like, hey, you'll be totally fine again in 2 months. And like, oh, can I attempt the PCT next summer?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Start in April.
So I assume he was drawing these conclusions from a not good x-ray.
From a not good x-ray, yeah.
What was the conclusion of that? I know that obviously the MRI was all right.
I had this like big bone chip floating around in my shin, like in between your shin bones, and like that didn't look good. And I had a big chunk taken out of my that's like the round bone of your ankle from the ligament popping out.
Yeah.
And so that worried him a lot.
I assume the arthritis prediction didn't come true.
I'm pretty fine.
Yeah. Pretty fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty fine.
You're feeling a little bit.
Come on, all hikers have those things that now they're like, I've worn down some things.
Yeah,
but
sure.
No. That's not what I worry about when I go out.
Yeah, what do you worry about?
I had a foot injury in 21, which took me off the
Okay.
CDT. Yeah.
Plantar fasciitis?
No, it was the cuboid area, like your arch, and that had such bad inflammation that like almost a stress fracture in the arch of the foot. And yeah, they just took me out. Took me out for 3 years. This is the first year I've been able to thru-hike again.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I've been working towards since 21, working back to like every year I'm like, I'm going to start in April, Nobo. Like CDT Nobo 22, CDT Nobo 23, and then finally 24. I was like, if I don't start now, like I want to like, we're looking towards starting, like getting married, starting a family, like getting more permanent. I'm like, I need to finish the CDT.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm just going to try it. And I had a better physical therapist recently, but yeah, the arch of the foot, it's been bothering me.
So, is this the same leg?
Different leg.
Okay.
I know.
Is this 3 years of PT to get to the point where you can hike?
There was like hopelessness in there.
Yeah.
Where I kind of wasn't doing anything because it was kind of like, let's just wait.
Yeah.
Like it should get better.
You're just sewing these triple crown button downs and sobbing.
Yeah, right. Just like, here we go, start a business. Because 21, I got home from CDT injury in September and then launched Jolly Gear in October. So 3-year anniversary, I guess.
Yeah. So what was the fix for you in terms of PT? Like, what was the thing that got you better?
Dry needling.
Dry needling?
Yeah. Yeah, I really think that was the biggest help. And like different, because I'd done dry needling immediately after the injury, no help. And then 3 years go by and it's like, well, let's try it again. Let's do it hard. Let's do it like 3 times a week or whatever. And did some electrodes, did some different locations, and that, seemed to help a lot. And then a lot of PT, like a lot of at-home strength training, and focus on the calves. Yeah, focus on the calves was a huge advice from Rob at Outdoor 76, the footwear guru.
Them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so lots of phone calls with him to talk about like, dude, I really want to hike this year. And we've become friends because they carry Jolly gear. And so I've been able to have connection and talk to him.
That's cool.
And he loves helping people with their feet. I mean, that is like his passion.
Yeah.
Like he gets fired up about it. And so able to talk to him about it and just like, maybe you should really focus on your calves. Which, how did it take 3 years for anyone to give me that advice? All these professionals.
Right.
And a guy who owns a gear store is like, you should do calf exercises. And it works.
Yeah. So it's a lot of calf raises, or like what exactly are you doing?
Like stretching and rolling the calves. Okay. Yeah. Just trying to like loosen up the calf. And he was explaining to me like, you know, your calf, everything's connected below the knee. Like, you know, calf goes into Achilles goes into like everything that's pulling from your big toe. So he's like, you know, focus on the calf and see if you can relax that and then get everything else below that to loosen up. And so I think between those two things, I also got toe spacers. I hike with toe spacers now. Yeah. Just like, they're like gummy. They don't weigh much.
Like the nail salon ones?
Yeah. But those aren't as permanent, right? No. Like you just throw those away at the end of a session.
It's just like foam.
Yeah. These were like gummy, like a pencil grip.
Do they not rub on your toes as you walk?
I don't hike in them. No,
okay.
Yeah. For like 30 minutes before bed, I watch like an episode of TV and I wear the toe spacers. And this is in my tent, yeah. And I do some stretching with like a cork ball and do some, I
was going to say hiking in those would make them disgusting.
I've tried.
Well, the rub too. But
and like how your feet fit in your toe box doesn't really work. Maybe if I was wearing Ultras, I'd switch to Hokas, helped a ton. But
when you're using the toe spacers at night, are your toes remembering when you take them off? Because I feel like mine, I'd take them off and they just go right back to like...
It takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But they do. Yeah, for sure. But it does, I think, help like while I'm doing those stretches in my tent to like have it kind of more spaced out. Maybe I'm getting a little deeper in there with with some arch stretches.
I used to help my Nana change her socks, and her toes used to overlap in spots just from like time. And I remember like as a child like looking at her toes and being like, that is wild that when I get to be this age, like that's what, like and you lift one off the other and you could like see the indent from where they just like become friends.
You're saying that didn't happen on your first thru-hike? Because that totally happened to me.
I mean, yeah, but then like, everything's
not crossing, but they're like you know, you take your shoe off and you see the indent.
I mean, even right now, I could do it. And some of them are you could tell who's friends with who.
Yeah. When you get in that first thru-hike, your feet your toes get the squareness to them, where like they're all like making it more flat down there. You're getting those crazy toe blisters. Did y'all experience that? Just me?
I just lost a bunch of toenails.
Really? Yeah. I got like a crazy like my pinky toe turned into a fin.
Oh no, yeah, I got blisters covering blisters. Yeah. I have really cool pictures from the PCT because I had overlapping blisters where like I'd open one and there'd be another underneath, like a surprise one.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
I hiked with a partner where I was in charge of popping the blisters. It got so bad for them.
Did you ever pull the skin off, like a pinky toe blister, and like the whole blister would kind of surround the whole head of the toe, and so you'd pull the skin off and it would come off from all angles of the nail, like you just have completely fresh.
I've seen it.
It's great.
I personally haven't.
Something fun
like
about
a butterfly
coming
out of a cocoon.
No, it's just like it starts to peel down and then it wants to peel around the side, and then you realize like every bit of skin around this nail is going to peel off in this blister reveal. It's just real cool. Real cool
it's
stuff.
Great. It's great.
Yeah.
I like to calculate. My blister, like how big it was by how many crates of my Z-Lite it fills. Like how many of the indents. Yeah. Like how full is the at the end of a blister session.
Like the liquid, the pus.
Like how much liquid's in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like pussy, right? It's pretty clear.
I've never tried to fill one of the little pockets.
Yeah. That should be a new.
You're
You're not a thru hiker until you fill up 3.
Yeah, right.
I've had a Z-Lite
3 egg
and I'm
crate.
just not using it to its full potential.
Yeah. See, it's also a measuring cup.
What's your record?
I think 3.
Yeah.
3. I had actually on the CDT this summer, I might have gotten up to 5.
On one blister?
On one blister. Probably not 5. But like a lot, man.
But
like,
you've got bigger toes.
This was a heel blister. I've never gotten such a heel blister.
Oh.
At mile 4 on the CDT, after like, golly, 6,000 miles of backpacking, 7,000 miles of backpacking, I'm like, yeah, day 4, let's get a blister.
Yeah.
Like what?
Are you still tweaking your footwear setup? Because I had a lot of foot issues on the AT, but honestly, since I could probably count on one hand the number of blisters that I've had.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I loved? I loved the Solomon Odyssey.
Does that still exist?
Discontinued.
Gotta tell Travis to set up the eBay alerts.
I know. Why I ought to, huh? Best shoe ever. I switched to that. I did in 2018. I did from Campo all the way to Bridge of the Gods in 2 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the construction of the shoe? Like, what makes it the Cinderella slipper for you?
Yeah, it had a really nice upper that was pretty soft, kind of like a Lone Peak 3.5, like kind of softer knit. So really comfy up there. The rubber didn't separate from the sole. It had a really balanced tread on the bottom. It was like waffle. Actually, people would look for me. I learned that they were like, "You're the peanut guy." Like they would see my footprints on the trail for miles and just be like, "I've been following you for weeks.
Yeah.
It's you." So they had a really even, really nice tread that just never wore out. And then, a little bit harder foam than Ultras or Hokas especially. So it didn't really compress. You didn't really feel a change.
Yeah.
And they were just fabulous.
So is Jolly going to venture into footwear anytime soon?
Oh, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I have. But that sounds insane.
Yeah.
We're Jolly Gear, we have like, extra small women's through extra large. And then in men's, we do small through double X. That's my sizes.
Yeah.
But like shoes, you got to do what? Like 6.5,
and
7,
wides,
all the way. Yeah.
And different models can be different foot shapes.
Yeah. It'd be a ton of work.
Yeah.
So kudos to anyone trying to get into footwear.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about it. I get commercials on Instagram. I'm like, whoa, good for you.
Yeah. I think we're in a cool stage with footwear. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be the best innovations. Because I think Ultra did a really good job, breaking the ground, zero drops, toe-shaped footbox. I think there's going to be a lot of brands now. I mean, brands are already doing that, but I think there's still room to improve. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so. I've heard murmurs, so
yeah,
I'm looking forward to some exciting stuff.
Yeah, likewise. All right, I obviously want to talk apparel stuff. Okay, so at what point you mentioned your program, but the inspiration didn't happen on the first PCT go-round, which was 17, but 18 is where the light bulb went off?
Yep. Like gearing up for that hike, I knew what to expect now, and I really was trying on. I went back to working at the gear store because I need some money to save up for the hike again. And I was really trying on a bunch of Patagonia was making these really cool, really beautiful printed, short sleeve button ups. I was like, man, it'd be really cool to hike in one of these. But there was 100% cotton, no stretch at all, just so uncomfortable. I could hardly put it on. It was just so tight. I couldn't imagine hiking in it. So I went back to Columbia, but I'd already, seen how much sun there was. So I was like, man, I need to do something about the sun. And yeah, that was the first spark of why do I have to choose? Why button down? Why sun hoodie? Why? And then, we get halfway through the hike. And I remember being in Oregon and just really talking to my hiking partner, man, we could do this. And then having just days where you have a ton of time to think on trail, just days of just being how cool could we make this shirt? And it just started out with,
was your hiking partner also in the outdoor program?
No, and I wasn't in the program yet either.
Oh, this is before
I was accepted, and I was, I had to be back from the PCT to start school. So I finished on the 15th and started school on the 27th. So I had a real quick turnaround of August, and but that was the idea.
You went into school knowing this is what I want to make.
Well, you know what? It was just kind of this would be really cool. This would be really cool.
That's better than going through school and being like, shit, now I got to think of an idea.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it was. It was just kind of cool idea. PCT's over. Not thinking about it at all. Came to class and went through my first semester totally normal. Had to take sewing 1. I hated it so much that I didn't take it in sewing 2 in the spring semester. So I took sewing 2, which was required, in the fall semester. So I've been in college for a whole year. And then in sewing 2, we had to sew a button up or a jacket. I was like, oh, well, I had this idea on the PCT. I could just make that my project. That'd be really cool. So yeah, I did that just for myself, just personal. Just that'd be, I want one, so I'll just sew myself one. That'd be great.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. Yeah. It's really cool.
Sorry, continue without any
No, I still have it. And yeah, so just kind of, cool. Now I have this shirt that I get to wear hiking. I outgrew it though. Sad. That freshman 15. The buffet. I mean, having access to a campus buffet.
No, it's not a fair fight.
I know. So then all of our classes were focused on product. and brand. And like one class was all about tech packs, which is like, you know, an illustration of the product you want to create, just a flat drawing, so a 2-dimensional drawing, no shading or anything like that, just lines on a white piece of paper. And you take that to a manufacturer and you kind of give, you know, specifics on their colors you want. So you give like Pantone names and you give stitch line lengths and all this stuff to create your product. And I had a class where that was what we learned to do, because in industry you would need to be able to do that and communicate with manufacturers using this tech pack. And so during that class, we had to create a fake brand. And I was like, well, I already have this prototype, this thing I'm already doing for another class. And a lot of people, they kind of encourage us to do that, like make your whole portfolio, you know, continue your portfolio.
Cohesive.
Like, yeah, exactly. So they were like, well, you could just go with that. So I was like, I'm a big procrastinator too. And they were like, okay, you've had 3 weeks to come with a brand name. What's it going to be? And I had every outdoor brand that I looked up to's name on this piece of paper. And I was like, I don't know what to name it. And the original Jolly Gear name was True to the Thru. I owned the Instagram. I was like, here we go, True to the Thru. And this is just like fun college project.
Do you still own the Instagram?
I don't think so.
You could make a great meme account with that.
I know I could, couldn't I? No, I think I gave it up because I think Lint had the like True to the Thru, but like spelled it different. And I was like, I should just give that. I should let anyone who wants it have it. Yeah. I shouldn't just be coveting this name. Sure. So I gave it up. But my mom's a big part of my life. She was like, you can't. What about Jolly Gear? Like, you got it. That's you. Like, that's so much better than True to the Thru. And we decided that True to the Thru was too exclusive and would really judge people, just everybody. Whatever you decide to do on a thru-hiking trail, if you've never thru-hiked a trail, it like felt like it excluded a lot of people from enjoying this product and this brand. So back then, for this class, it was like, okay, Jolly Gear. And then I graduate May 2020, and COVID's fully roaring, and LinkedIn is a terrifying place to look at the time, and everybody from every big brand that I've ever thought to apply at was posting, I lost my dream job today. And I was like, well, I can't, no one's going to hire me. Everyone has 10 years of experience that's on the market right now. So I decided, how hard could it be? After working 3 months at a different job that was not my major, I was like, I'm making, pretty decent amount of money. I could spare some money, not knowing how much I would end up eventually spending on Jolly Gear. But I was like, we have this idea. We have a tech pack. We have a name. Let's try it. And so I looked for a manufacturer, and boom, got samples.
So that first one that you made for the class project, did it have the signature Jolly Gear style? Like, was it floral?
No, that came later. That came in that class.
Okay.
That came in that class. We had to have a whole brand identity. We had to really look into that. The first sewn one was a blue torso. It's like the hammock materials you can buy on Ripstop by the roll. And then some off-white sleeves. So that is where the solid sleeves pattern torso came from.
Yeah.
Because when I sent photos of that first hand-sewn prototype to the manufacturer, they just assumed that's what I wanted because that's what I showed them. I mean, why would they not think that?
Yeah.
And so every sample I got was solid torso and a different color sleeves. And some were printed torso, some were, printed sleeves, solid torso. And so and I was like, that's funny. Let's keep that going.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a thought of, when that decision came to be made, we're like, should we do solid sleeves on our florals? Was like, well, that's a lot of pattern. You don't really see long sleeve Hawaiian shirts, do you? Because we kind of wanted to go thrift shop. I was like, man, well, let's keep that going. But yeah, not originally floral, but that class, deep dive, and we wanted to go PCT fashion, Casa de Luna, you have to wear a Hawaiian shirt to be there. And then later on in the hike, everyone was thrift shopping. Everyone was like, I'm on vacation. I should look like it.
Yeah.
I tried it, hated it, was just so uncomfortable and sweaty and in this cotton and just felt so the salt was chafing me because it was just so abrasive. And so I changed immediately. But I was like, we should do that. Let's make a technical, functional, floral shirt. So, yeah.
I feel like there was a period between 17 and since Jolly's kind of emerged where the floral thing died down a bit. I feel like the floral was everywhere in 17, and then it kind of went out of fashion, and now it's back with a fury. It's interesting to hear that your inspiration from that came from Casa de Luna.
Yeah, and I remember in 17, my buddy Cola, he had attempted PCT before. He was going to do it again. He was like, you want to join me? I'm like, absolutely. Again, I didn't have to do any planning. Just like with my pops, it was just like, yeah, I'll tag along. This will be a great time. But I do remember being like, the only thing I want is to stop at Casa de Luna. And we got to that road crossing, and we were like, oh, do we want to go? Like, it's getting pretty late. We could get some more miles. And then some dude pulls up and is like, y'all going to Casa de Luna? Hop in. Okay, decision made.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
Yeah.
But that sparked it right there. It was like, man, this is it.
You hiked in a Hawaiian shirt, didn't you?
Yeah, and funny thing, speaking to what you're saying about it, kind of had a little rise.
Yeah.
Was we had found them at thrift stores because we liked the Casa de Luna ones, and I had more than once been accused of stealing a shirt from Casa de Luna by other hikers.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Whoa, like you just took one," and I'm like, "No, like a lot of places have Hawaiian shirts."
Yeah.
We just went to a thrift store, but it was at that level where it was like you went to Casa de Luna, you put on a Hawaiian shirt, and then you didn't see people hiking in them.
Yeah.
But yes, mine was a cotton one. It's shredded. Like by the time I finished, it had gone through a washing machine in Washington. Like it looks like I fought a bear, which is sick.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Yeah. I just like washed it at one point when maybe there was too much salt in it, and it just came out shredded. And I was like, this looks fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then on the AT, I found one in the little boys section of Walmart, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And a steal because those prices are way less than adult prices. But yeah, it's fun. It just like it makes things less serious.
Yeah, and we're on vacation.
Yeah.
And I feel like this happened in Tahoe, and so you're kind of like far enough into the hike where you're like, I need to spice things up. Like I'm kind of like I've been out here a long time. The excitement of being out here is kind of diminished a little bit. Let's like revive this. Like I'm on vacation. I'm paying to be here. This is my dream. This is lots of other people's dreams. That kind of fuels you a lot. You're like, this is somebody's dream, so I better enjoy the shit out of this because I'm out here.
I will say one of the pros about having the women's sizes is in 2018 I went through like a minor rage with companies in general because no one had women's sizes for Hawaiian shirts. And so for the Colorado Trail, I got a Tipsy Elves shirt, which was like the crustacean vacation. It had crabs on it. It was cute. But it was a guy's shirt, and the small one was like still guy size.
Yeah.
I fucking cut it up and just resewed it. I was like, this looks right.
Yeah.
And like not well resewed, just like amateur style. But that was how hard it was to find something as a girl in a Hawaiian pattern for hiking.
Yeah. Do you get the feedback a lot that ladies are appreciative of having the female styles?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We sell a lot of women's too, so it's like it's worth having.
Yeah.
And like some men even will wear a women's size because we offer the same colors of men's and women's, and that was important to us that like we don't want to be exclusive either in that way. Like if we're gonna make a women's fit, we want to make sure that like if you're a lady and you like the dark blue, then or like the hunter green, that you can get that because a lot of brands will just make it in like teal and pink, right? And then if a man wants to wear the teal and pink, then absolutely we have that for you too. So we used to get a lot more like great job. Now it's like standard. That's what we do.
Sure. So with the first prototype that you make, obviously the sleeves being different than the torso was sort of like a joke and an accident almost. Was there anything functionally that was different about it that you wanted to see for sun hoodies that didn't exist on the market?
Yeah, from my prototype or just in general?
Or I guess just as in the early days of developing them.
Yeah. I wanted a hair hole because I had long hair at the time. So I wanted, that was like we can't not have this. So even my prototype has the hair hole, the bun hole. So that was fun to pattern and to make when I was sewing. I was like, this was my second attempt. I was running low in time in the sewing lab, and I was like, I got to get this done. It's due tomorrow. Like, we're just going for it. This is my, I have to sew with this fabric. It has to look like this. This is as much as I have. I can't mess up. And we just went for it, and it worked out. So that was an important thing, like hair hole. Most sun hoodies don't feature a ponytail hole, so a hole in the back where you can throw a ponytail out of. And I was like, I have long hair. Like, women all have long. Like, a lot of women population has long hair. A lot of the hiker population, some men have long hair. Like if you just throw a hood up with a ponytail or a bun, it like looks funny. It doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
And if you leave the hair down, you have this fur collar, and it's just so hot. It's just down on your neck, on your chest. So that was really important to me.
Yeah.
And then we put zipper pockets on it. We put thumb loops on it. I thought, a collar still being there, being stylish, like having this extra layer of, it just looks good.
Yeah. And the collar matches the cuffs. Or the sleeves?
Oh, it can change all the time. But it's, the collar's usually printed.
Okay.
Same as the torso. Yeah, and then the hood is usually solid.
All right.
Same as the sleeves, if the sleeves are solid, or sometimes the cuffs are solid. Yeah.
I was going to feature this patent pending, but I'm not going to do anything with it, so you have to take it and run with it.
Okay.
But something that integrates some sort of a pole or some sort of extension out of your hat for over the hoodie to give a little airflow between the hat and the hood itself. Because I feel like the hood sitting on top of, most people are probably not wearing a hat. I guess maybe they are. But having some barrier between the two kind of gives you the same benefit that a sun umbrella would give you.
Yeah. So you got the airflow.
Yeah.
It's like, you're getting some air conditioning. Maybe it's flowing down the back even.
I don't know how you do that without making it look tremendously dorky.
Okay.
But I think there's a way.
I think you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if the hood's on. So maybe it's something you can hide away.
Right.
And then you put it on, the hood's on.
Especially if you go with like an extra large, like a climbing style hood where you can get even more space with it. More airflow.
Okay, how many weeks do I have a head start on these
people?
right,
exactly. Yeah.
Someone with a 3D printer is like super excited right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can make that. I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah.
What's the address to send?
Because I love sun hoodies when it's like 65 or lower. Anything more than that, I just run really hot. Like anytime I'm exercising, I went for a run today. It was like 50 degrees outside, and by the end of it, I was like in shorts and a t-shirt because I'm sweating so much. So just something that gets a little airflow in the head region, I think would go a long way.
No, that'd be really smart.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Well, thanks in advance for making that happen.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Walk me through the evolution of the styles, because I know obviously that's what you're known for.
Yeah.
Like you can pick your shirt out of a crowd in an instant. You mentioned obviously the difference between the sleeve and the torso being kind of like a funny joke and an accident, but like how did it evolve?
Yeah. So first year, we're sampling the fabric. So like I'm focused on that. I'm focused on getting, with the manufacturer in 2020, like, how's the fit feel? Where the pockets at? Thumb loops, are those good? Those bad? Hood, what's that look like? We're doing all that. In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out, what does jogger look like? Like I have ideas for artwork, like we want to do artwork, but what? And I remember being on Instagram, just scrolling one night and seeing a Light AF backpack with paisleys on it, like this beautiful paisley print. And he tagged the artist. I'm like, no way. And so I immediately go and direct message the artist. I say, hey, this is me. I'm Jolly Gear. I'm starting a new business. Like we're about to launch. I'm in the middle right now of perfecting the product. And then I want to, put really cool artwork on it. And the idea, I got to hop on a call. I'm like, thrift shop fashion. He doesn't know anything about thru-hiking. He, leased this artwork to Light AF to use for this one-off backpack. So he kind of dipped the toe in dealing with him. But he's like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And, I got to work with him. And it's like, people have even said it's like old, like grandma's upholstery. That artwork was like curtains. But he said that's his most popular print, this paisley print. It's called Wicked Weed. He's like, it's so popular, you can't have it.
Is this the lime green one?
This one was in year 2. Okay. We actually did get to use it. Year 2, we proved ourselves, I guess, that we're official.
Yeah.
And he let us lease it from him and use it for one season to make the paisley. But in the meantime, he's like, Hawaiian, floral. I told him about Casa de Luna. He's like, I got something for you. Which is really, things have really fallen into place. This guy's like, I actually did a college project on thrift shop. And I did some artwork for like the thrift shop theme. And he came at me with 2 colorways of this floral Hawaiian, one in this like teal green and one in orange. And same artwork, 2 different colorways. I'm like, that's it. Like, that is gorgeous. And then we did a more safe print that wasn't intentional. I was just going to do 2 prints, these 2 Hawaiians, or one Hawaiian, 2 different colors. But I was posting on Instagram like, hey, guys, update. This is what the shirt looks like right now. And I was wearing it and showing it off. And it was just a sample that the manufacturer, just an artwork that the manufacturer already owned. And they were like, it was just green topo. It was super simple. And everyone loved it. like on my Instagram, it was just like, what about that one? Because I'm like showing them color swatches of the Hawaiian. They're like, but the green topo. But what about that one? I'm like, guys, we're not making it. What do you mean? But finally I heard enough that I was like, we could do a third colorway, right? Like we could make that work. So that first year we had a safe, hunter green or like dark green topo option, and then 2 really loud options that were a ton of fun. And then since then, the next year we were like, let's do 4 different pieces of artwork. But every year, the goal is to sell out. And like whatever we ordered, that's not coming back. So if you hiked in 2023 or 2022, our first year, then like those shirts aren't coming back. Like if you own one of those, awesome, because like you're unique in that. Like wear that in 2025, you'll be the only one.
Yeah.
So the next year we brought out 4 different artwork. One with printed sleeves, the rest with these solid sleeves from the prototype, and that was the first. Okay, and it was like a mistake. Pretty much everything that happens is a mistake. Everything that's new, it's like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But like we just had to do it. But for that shirt, we had 2 yellows of the year. So one was like a gold yellow, and one was this like really light yellow, which is great for a sun hoodie color. But I was like, can't have 2 yellows. It's like, how can we get around this? Well, we could print the sleeves, right? We could just do printed sleeves. So I was like, okay, like we're just gonna do it. Fingers crossed. Like this isn't Jolly Gear from year 1. This is, and that one sold the best. So I was like, okay, customers like that. And of course it was Wicked Weeds, that artwork I saw on the Light AF backpack that I was in love with, that I finally got to lease. I was really like, I was passionate about this artwork. I thought it would do well, and bestseller of the year. So I was like, okay, people like solid sleeves. So since then, it's been just kind of this mix up of, some have solid sleeves, some have printed sleeves, and it's kind of whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah. Are you working with the same artist for all of your shirts?
For the first 2 years, I did.
Yeah. Now.
And then since then, it's just kind of like I'll do some collaborative, custom artwork, some artwork that's pre-existing. Trail Madness, which is our Triple Crown piece.
I have that one.
Yeah, 13 different pieces of artwork. Worked with actually our Instagram. We did a poll that was like, we called it Trail Madness because we did like a bracket style. Like every day you got to vote between this or that. And it was locations of the Triple Crown and animals and plants of the Triple Crown. So it was like Pika versus Marmot. Who's going to win? And then I used that information to decide what to put on the shirt to do on the print.
Yeah.
And so in 2022, that fall, we did that like Trail Madness. And then I worked with an artist for a year until I finally was able to produce that piece of art. So that was a ton of fun. And that's one we want to carry for a long time because we put a lot of work into it.
Sure.
And it's, special. A Triple Crown, custom, any trail you hike of the Triple Crown, it's like, wow. Yeah. It's represented.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've worked with other artists too to do custom stuff.
Are all your shirts the same UPF? Yeah.
Except for the Evergreen UL. We have a UL fabric that has a little bit of it's a 10% lighter torso fabric. And I haven't had that one tested. Manufacturer claims 30 UPF. So, but I'm like, I want to be sure before we put a number on it. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're 30 UPF.
30.
How do you know testing it?
Yeah. So you would have like a kit, and then, I send it to a lab.
I'm thinking like you put it on, you go outside, you're like, cool.
No, did I get burnt? Yeah. I know. And that's something with like starting a business. You're like, gosh, there's a lot that I don't know that like has to be done.
Yeah.
And like, there's things that, because like there was like a whole thing about UPF with Patagonia, and like them, now they've toned down their claims because like they got in trouble. It's like, oh gosh.
You think if one company wasn't going to mess that up, it would be
I know.
The size of
it's because the colors of the fabric can change the UPF. Yeah. And like if we're getting super technical, but we do a UPF treatment. So everything should be standard. But it is hard it's a hard claim.
It's the motherfucker of the UPF. It's the darker the fabric, the higher the UPF. Yeah. But it also that is hotter.
Right.
So there's always a trade-off with that stuff.
Yeah.
So what about materials? Is it nylon spandex?
Polyester spandex.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 86% polyester, 14 spandex.
Yeah. How do you get the correct ratio?
So, of course, I more thru-hiker than designer here. I went to 2 years of school to like learn how to sew and learn how to use Illustrator and like TechPack and branding a little bit. But you don't learn like fabric. That's like a whole different major, I feel like, and a whole lifetime of study to like what's the perfect fabric.
Yeah.
So I just went off, what did I like?
Yeah.
Like I thought this one was the most comfortable. And so when the manufacturer sent samples in 2020, we got 5 different fabrics and put them on. And I may have partially been swayed by one being really cool colors. And I was like, you know what? I think this one's it.
Yeah.
And so we went with that. And it's just, we've stuck with that since.
Huh. Are you choosing the percentages to tell them? Like, could you be like, let me try it with 15% spandex?
Well, now we could.
And they
like
just
now I could say stuff. So they would, it's the weave of the fabric. Yeah. So they're weaving in-house. So I could do something like that. Like we can add Coolmax to our fabric, which is like a extra thread of like a, I don't exactly know the science of Coolmax, but if you felt a Coolmax garment, it like has this colder feel in your hand. But personally, I've gotten samples made, and I want to make it because I'm like that'd be really sweet. Just so like there's more air traveling through the fabric, and like when it does, it cools off these fibers, and you feel cooler. But every time I've worn a sample Jolly Gear and a Coolmax, it feels hotter.
Really?
Like it feels way hotter, and I don't know the science there, but personally, and this is how I've done everything. Personally, I didn't like it, so it's like, well, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, you got to stay behind it.
But yeah, we could now, but I'm just one dude who like walks a lot and wears shirts and went to school a little bit.
That should be your LinkedIn bio.
Yeah, is that it?
One dude who walks a lot and wears shirts.
That's Jolly Gear. And
that should be our subtitle for the YouTube.
That's it.
Episode da-da-da. One dude who walks a lot and wears shirts.
That's funny.
So I just trust my manufacturer because they do this for a living. Yeah. Like they are there with the fabric, weaving it, sourcing materials. Like they are experts. Like I am not their only client. They work for people who've been in business way longer than me. So I'm just like, what do you guys have that's really popular? And, let me see that.
Yeah.
And then I'll work off that, see what I like. And yeah. And I've tried to be overly complicated with them, and it's always backfired.
Are they always just like
no, they do it and then it's totally wrong, and I have to eat my words, and I'm like, okay, so what do you have that you suggest? Because I've tried to, like, as I've gotten bigger, I'm like, I should have more say. Like I'm smart, I've learned, and every time I've just learned a lesson to listen to them.
Yeah, that's good.
Have you ever thought about shorts?
Oh yeah,
like little short shorts?
I've made shorts. They're at the house,
really,
but just like 3 pairs.
I feel like these patterns. Okay. These patterns, this material.
I know. And it's still in the works. Yeah. And upper body is pretty normal. Lower body is pretty wild.
Really?
Like, it's just, like, the fit of shorts. It just feels like everyone's lower body is way different than, like, upper body. To create something that fits majority has been harder. And it's also something I haven't pursued since, like, kind of running into some roadblocks of fit, not loving it. And then also being like, I feel like the industry has a lot of really good shorts.
And those chicken leg shorts.
Yeah, and that's my biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Because I think about them, they're $35.
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
Like, good for them.
Right.
I don't think I can compete
You're right.
at that. I think our prints, our artwork could be more sophisticated,
right,
which could maybe give us a leg up. But
no pun intended.
I know, I almost did a chicken leg up. But yeah, to make a $35 short to compete, I think would be difficult.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So we're working on pants instead.
Like overalls.
Oh, well, I haven't done it. I like that. The next level. Are you my email customer? Because I feel like they're always like, I like this colorway, but what if it was a dress? And I'm like, but I have,
that would be an excellent April Fool's.
Imagine this pattern on some like loose overalls. Yeah, with some stretch.
Oh my gosh, we're making a dress in this colorway. So that's coming.
Okay.
And it does have a snap between the legs to make it a romper, so you can make like shorts out of it.
Okay.
I have toyed with the idea of making a romper, like straight up, where it's sewn. You have shorts and you have a shirt, one item. But we're a thru-hiking brand. How to use the restroom is the biggest concern. I don't want hikers to have to get naked, like in the middle of the desert.
Snaps is a good idea. Babies use snaps.
So you think we should just do like straight pajama?
Yeah, make it like a baby onesie, like that, like the snaps.
Okay.
That'd be kind of fun.
Like,
let me just unbutton my butt flap.
Yeah, I'm thinking butt flap.
And then button it back up, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you talked about working with like insect shield to coat your stuff in?
Yeah. Well, fun fact. So most sun hoodies are a knit fabric. So the traditional pullover sun hoodie, they're really stretchy. They're like crocheted together, kind of, right? Yeah. It's a knit. It's a loose enough knit that mosquitoes can go through it, and so that's why you'd want permethrin coating. On ours, we're woven, and it's such a tight weave that mosquitoes can't really penetrate. They have a super hard time penetrating.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't advertise that. Maybe I should.
You probably should.
Insect proof.
Yeah.
Because they can. If you're in Oregon on the PCT and you're camped next to a stagnant pond, the one's gonna make a few are gonna make its way through. But I can talk about Jabba on this podcast because he's always here.
He's kind of always here,
right? But this summer, he was wearing a short sleeve shirt and really short shorts. True hiker fashion, right? Like that's kind of the hiker outfit. And I was wearing our pants prototype and a long sleeve Jolly Gear, and had no issue with mosquitoes. And on like the end of our 30-mile day, we were just getting harassed by mosquitoes. Like so much elevation gain. We were exhausted. And Jabba, he almost has like a come apart. He's like, the mosquitoes are getting to him so badly that he is like shutting down. And he's a tough fella. We know. And he was like, just got in his tent, ate his dinner, did not talk, just in a horrendous mood. I'm over here just like chilling outside my tent, eating dinner. Like, I'm totally fine. So yeah, so pretty mosquito proof. And that was like the biggest tell there with like high contrast of he's getting attacked. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. You mentioned wanting to have more say in like the fabric makeup and just defaulting to your manufacturer. I'm curious to know, how has your job evolved over like the first prototype where you're actually stitching it together to like, what does your job actually look like today?
Yeah, my day-to-day is, I feel like everyone else's job, it's emails.
Yeah.
It's emails.
Yeah.
It's social media, like replying to comments and replies.
Are you running
the
social media account?
Yeah, I'm the only guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm Jolly Gear.
On all
everything.
avenues.
Yeah. So I pack the orders. I take them to the post office every day.
Is this by choice?
Yeah. I mean, what I want, I'd love for someone to reply to all my customer emails for me. That'd be great.
Yeah, let's say you got an extra amount of money to hire one full-time employee.
That's what they do.
That's the email.
They would filter everything before it gets to me.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And it's not that people are mean. It's just that there's so much feedback, and I'm just one dude that's like likes to walk and wear shirts, and it's a lot to take that feedback all the time and like be on the front lines of criticism. Not that I get a lot, but it's just suggestions.
Sure.
It's like it's never good enough.
Yeah.
It's like, but what if you guys? Yeah. What if you did this colorway and this, and it's just, and so I think that'd be the first guy, first gal to hire. Yeah. Just filter everything and then give me the important stuff because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so many people to get back to.
Yeah.
And then recently I've joked, or not joked, I guess it's pretty serious, but like the bigger you get, the heavier the burden of like, now even more people know about us, so even more people can email us and even more. And it is great to hear from everybody, but it's like, that'd be great. I'd love to hear the good news. And then have someone reply to be like, yes, you can exchange the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be their new stickers. Jolly Gear, don't email us.
Pretty much. No. I love hearing from people. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
But
do you have a vision of where you want the brand to be in like 5 years from now?
Oh, no. Hopefully still on trail.
Yeah.
Hopefully out there. Hopefully I'm still on trail out there somewhere. No, I haven't really thought too much about it. I kind of take it year by year.
Yeah.
And like right now I'm thinking of the theme for 2026. I'm like, what does that look like? This year's theme is thrift shop.
Yeah.
So we're like really going into like, let's hit it hard. Let's like do a lot of fun prints when they're all on a rack at like Appalachian Trail Days. I want it to feel like you're like thumbing through a thrift store and you're like, whoa, there's the print I want.
Are you trying to like tap into the zeitgeist to be like, oh, there's so much conflict in the Middle East?
No.
Or like, what are you deriving for your inspiration for what the theme for the year is going to be?
Again, just kind of whatever. I'm like, whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because it is just me. I'm thinking aquarium.
Are you thinking sharks?
I took lots
Some
of pictures of fish today. And I'm like, damn girl, you know how to dress. So yeah.
Sure, that's not a real mermaid.
Yeah. Oh, right. No, but like, yeah, I like looking at the nature has some really incredible artwork, on them. And so I've thought about that as
you
a
could
theme.
do aquarium theme, and then it could be a tiger shirt
We have a
and
tiger
a sloth shirt.
I know, yeah, because we saw, that was the highlights. No, yeah, just kind of, what's different too? Like this year's thrift store, like how can we do it a little, like make it different so it's contrasting the year before?
Yeah.
What are your options?
Ooh, I'm thinking workwear. 26.
Like men at work? Like what?
Like doing whole denim.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, do
like
denim.
a denim, like a washed denim jolly gear. So like it looks like you're wearing a denim jacket, shirt.
That's awesome. I love that.
And then I thought about like, can I get, wildland firefighters involved? Like, how could I donate back to them? But can I use their yellow and then maybe do like some charcoal stains and like have that as a workwear?
I can give you one. I gave this to Garrett. Well, Garrett likes to design hockey jerseys.
Okay.
For his beer league hockey team.
Yeah.
Travis is a big fan of them. He's got two.
Okay.
But one that he didn't end up using that I thought would have been great was they wanted to be the big puck hunters for the hockey team. And I told him he should have made like the center of the jersey, kind of like how you do the different sleeves.
Yeah.
Bright orange, like a hunting vest.
Yeah.
And then the sleeves are camo.
And we could do the hood camo.
So it looks like you're wearing like the orange hunting vest over the camo.
See, that'd be good.
But it's really just one.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm thinking something like that.
Yeah.
Love maybe it. Doing like a western plaid and doing pearl snaps instead of buttons. Changing the back placket a little bit, the yoke, and make it more of a point, like a western. Yeah.
Fake leather.
Oh, or like hunting, like some of those hunting, like skeet shooting shirts have the patches, like the leather patches on like the shooting shoulder as well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, endless.
Yeah.
We just need to make 250 of a shirt and we can make it happen.
Yeah. Are you planning on ever using the snap-in buttons?
I've sampled it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I learn every day. I think what we need to do is they're ripping. The snaps are ripping, especially if you're doing like the Superman, just whoosh.
Yeah.
The snaps are ripping the fabric.
Uh-huh.
And really what I think it just needs to happen is we need to reinforce the center strip of fabric that runs along it with some interfacing that would protect it from ripping.
What about a zipper?
Oh, should I tell you? Should I tell them?
Tell us.
I have a sample.
Watching.
Yeah, none at all. I have a sample in the works right now. Yeah, no, I do. I'm really excited about this one.
Are we talking like quarter zip, full zip?
Half zip.
Half zip.
Half zip, so it's a pullover, but it's still our same fabric. At this time, it's still our same fabric, but then we're swapping fabrics for the sleeves and the hood.
Yeah.
And making it where there's no button cuff like we have right now, and using more of like a classic knit sun hoodie fabric. So we still got like bug resistant torso and shoulders and sleeves, but then having this like sleeve that you can pull up instead of having to roll up. So, whether it be through hiking, whether it be fly fishing, where like you're reaching a hand in the river and you want to be able to quickly get your sleeve out of the water, something like that, we're thinking of,
What if you did like zip off sleeves, and then when you do pants, you could do zip off, like how Limited 2 had the shorts to capris to pants, and then people can mix and match their different years' editions.
I've thought about it.
You can totally just like.
I've thought about it.
One arm something.
Know.
Another.
Yeah, so the first thing that's custom like that would be our short sleeves with the detachable hood, and we haven't launched a new one that you could then change the hood of. But I like that. I like the zip off. No one does zip off shirts, do they? Have you ever seen one?
No.
In all
I
your
think
life?
You just have to be careful where to put. Like,
A
are we
seam.
zipping off the whole sleeve, or are we zipping off to a T-shirt? Because if the pack straps and the zips are
I worry it'd be like
rub-running.
too much weight on the sleeve.
Yeah.
It might chafe.
Yeah.
But I thought about buttons. Could you put 4 buttons?
You sure could.
That would allow it to like. Then this is actually an original 2018 idea for the shirt. Was exactly what you're talking about. Could we sell like a khaki shirt that then you bought different sleeve colors for? So at checkout, you had like sleeve options, but then they buttoned in. And I was also thinking like, as you move your trekking poles while you're walking, is that pushing air through the fabric since you got these little openings in between the 4 buttons?
It's kind of nice.
So I've thought about it. Yeah.
Are you working on like a first draft of the design to present to a designer, or is it all conceptual and you're like, give me the denim shirt and I want it to look like X, Y, and Z?
Like if I did the denim, like if
I
like
guess
right now it's an idea.
Yeah.
If I want to pursue the denim, what would what's the route?
What's your process? Yeah.
I would. First off, I would scour the internet to see if anyone would let me lease it from them that already has it made. That's way easier.
Yeah.
If I can just find an artist.
Are you going on Pinterest?
That like the style. We're talking Instagram.
Okay.
We're talking.
You're digging
there's
through
a couple.
hashtags.
There's a couple websites digging through hashtags.
Yeah.
Looking for like art contests where people are then willing to submit their artwork. You can kind of get a vibe for their style. They're eager because they're entering contests.
Right.
And then like maybe they didn't win the contest, so now like they're excited. You've also seen their work. It'd be like a great win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Because now, that's a way I'd do it. But like really finished artwork is the best. Like if I could just find someone who has a repeat pattern denim, cool, we're in business.
Why can't you just take a picture of denim and then do the repeat?
Actually, I think for this one we could, but you want it to be seamless.
Yeah, but you would take the picture of it and then you'd flip it. Oh, you'd flip it.
But on the edge of the flips, wouldn't there would still be
Nah. So you take the pattern is.
Right.
Flip it horizontally.
Chauncey's auditioning for a job right
now.
now.
I know. Golly.
No, this is part of Excuse me. I went to school for graphic design, sir.
I'm
just telling you, he doesn't.
I wasn't being demeaning.
If it's just denim, though.
Yeah.
It's not like you need to like design a ton of. Like you don't need to design a denim pattern.
Right.
You could.
Denim might be a nice easy one that we could do a photo of.
Yeah. Chauncey's our creative director.
Perfect. Let's talk.
I'll tell you how to flip an image.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Line it up perfectly.
Make it a reoccurring pattern.
Perfect.
Seamless edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would do something like that.
Yeah.
I've never done like a photo, so I don't know what the like print quality would be of a photo.
Yeah.
I know some other brands that have done that on Dyneema. It's like you could just print a photo.
Yeah.
Sweet. But on our fabric, I don't know.
You mentioned you were doing the like unofficial tournament for what you decided to put on the Triple Crown shirt.
Yeah.
Are you running polls on your Instagram to like decide between different designs for future shirts, or is it all just like?
I've learned to keep everything a secret. After I just spilled a lot of secrets.
How well have you learned?
Yeah, not that well because
we'll
in 2022, I did talk about shorts and was like, they're next.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time, and they're not next.
Yeah.
Pants are definitely coming out before shorts come out. But yeah, I don't run things on the Instagram because I don't want people to have expectations, and then when I don't achieve them, that like I don't need people annoyed, like disappointed, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't, and also I just never know with the manufacturing. Like there's been a few things that like on my end I know happened that I don't need the customer to know that like that print didn't come out exactly like we thought it would.
Yeah.
But you guys don't know that.
Yeah.
Like it looks perfect. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
So.
Aside from dealing with the onslaught of emails, what's the biggest challenge of your job?
Oh. I'm self-employed, so it's like staying motivated and thinking that I'm like this is what I should be doing. Like Jolly Gear is helping the world, you know?
Yeah. I would imagine you've seen so much growth that the inspiration part has got to be fairly easy, is it not?
Yeah. No, it is. It is for sure. But it's like, like I was on trail this summer and it's like, wow, this is way different. Like thru-hiking while owning a business is like crazy.
Yeah.
So like you're on trail and you're like, oh, but I got to be in town so I can like reply to this email, like get back to the manufacturer. I need to get home from the trail so I can like approve samples. And that's just like, oh wow, this is a lot. And it doesn't end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We're like, if I decide that I want to do something different, Jolly Gear's done.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it's just, okay, this is just, it's just that level of, whew.
Yeah.
And like if I'm gone for a little while, it's like I have to train someone to do this.
Right.
But like it's not their business, so they don't know everything. And so like having someone else reply to customer emails while I was on trail is like I still replied to a lot of the emails over the phone with the guy.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's just it keeps going.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing. And so that's been an interesting level.
Sure.
Yeah, like while I'm here, I'm like, I really need to get back to those emails.
Yeah.
I really need to get home tomorrow and pack orders.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
You'll get to the point where you've got a system of delegating all that stuff.
Right.
You'll have different stresses that bother you every single day, but it'll be new stresses.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, things were really good.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, I guess like that growth from 3 years ago is crazy. And so it's been a lot to like, okay, this is different.
Have you seen other bigger brands going after your style element? Like, do you feel like you're altering the fashion of some of the bigger boys?
Like they're becoming more colorful?
Yeah, or florally, or just different sleeves and torsos, or whatever it might be.
Like huge brands, like we're talking.
Or
like,
I guess any size brand.
Yeah.
But yeah. Are you seeing other brands that are inspired by Jolly?
I haven't. Yeah, but they work so far in advance. Like I've seen behind the curtain with a few other brands, like because my classmates now work at big brands, and like they're talking way in advance. Like they've already designed stuff 2 years out that's coming, and they're sampling it, and they probably already have finished products and orders placed with their manufacturers.
Yeah,
where we're way smaller and nimble. That's we're doing things like in 8 months, like from start to finish, and they're doing things like 3 years. And we're 3 years old, so maybe we'll start to see that. But at this time, no, I haven't really noticed. But other smaller brands, I think, new brands that are coming out appear to be more colorful, like new fleeces, new packs. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like you and Townshirt came out at about the same time.
Isn't that
you guys
crazy?
have very colorful yet different styles. Like you can instantly tell the two apart.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you guys both emerged at kind of the same time.
Right. And it is, I think that happens a lot. People now that I'm like own a business, people kind of, hey, how'd you start that? I had this idea.
Yeah.
And then they see it through, and then it's like another brand started at the same time doing the same thing. And I feel like a lot of people have that idea and start working on it, because it took a while before, I was working on it since 2018 from the idea to finally put it out. And then like they must have been working on it too. And so it is crazy that like, what are the chances that within a month, 2 brands of colorful colorful hoodies are coming out?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. We both were on the PCT at the same time.
You and Dylan?
Yeah.
Did you guys cross paths?
Oh,
okay.
No.
Yeah, Dylan's a good guy.
But I think that was in 18? His hike? I think so.
Yeah. What's the best Jabba story you can give us?
I keep having to pee, and then every question I'm like, I gotta wait for this one.
Oh, gosh. Best Jabba. Ooh. No, this will throw him under the bus too much.
We'll bleep out the name. They won't know it's about him.
Yeah. Or we can ask his permission if we can put it on the podcast. We'll cut it if he doesn't want it.
So Jabba was sober over the summer. Allegedly.
I wonder where this is going.
But I guess when Jolly's in town, or when you're on trail together, that can change a little bit.
Yeah.
We had a really good time in Salida. We had a great time. Started with the distillery and a sample flight that then went to sushi and these massive beers. He was like, we got to get these. Oh, they have them. We got to get them. Like, can we get 2? She's like, no, big ones. Big. Like, I don't know how big they were. They were huge. I remember leaving sushi and being like, whoa, we got to go resupply? Like, what? Like, we were on our way to resupply this whole time. We weren't even supposed to eat dinner yet. And it's like, okay, now we had a few drinks. We had these rental bikes, or like from our hotel. We had these bikes that you could just drive around on. And we were like, let's play. This is kind of crazy, actually. Everyone in Salida was like, you got to have the pizza. You got to go to the pizza shop. It's so good. So we're like, okay, we just ate sushi, so we're not really hungry. But we should place a to-go order for pizza because everyone's telling us. So we park our bikes, order the pizza, get back on the bikes. I guess the beers have settled in a little bit, and we're cycling across the street in this alley. And I am like mounting my bike, and I turn around, and Jabba is just like, boom, on the asphalt. Just like so hard. Like, oh, gosh. Like an animal being struck down in a African safari, just like a trank dart hits him in the shoulder. This massive rhino just comes toppling down and just like grinds into the dirt. And he's like sliding. The bike stopped. His glasses are like, where are they? Yeah, and he just hits hard. And then everyone just like stares over because we're like right outside the patio, and they're like really concerned with what just happened. But I think they knew we were a little tipsy. Yeah. So they didn't no one got up to help. And I get over to him and I'm helping him up, and like we're picking up the glasses. Like, dang it, these were brand new glasses. And they're a little scratched up. And then he was, I'm totally okay. The bike chain broke, and like blames it on the bike. I swear it wouldn't have happened. But and then we go resupply, and the photo of our line, like both of our buggies we call them buggies, not carts in Alabama. I get made fun of a lot for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we call them buggies. But like the photo of our carts at the end of like how similarly we both drunkenly resupplied was fat. Neither of us carried Oreos the whole trail, and all of a sudden we both just have. We don't even have a long resupply, and we both got big old things of Oreos and just like way too much food. We got like 2 bags of bagels each.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, and that was a good time. And then the next day, he also falls. So within 24 hours, we have 2 falls. One intoxicated, one sober. Both falls.
Yeah.
Both real hard.
On the bike again?
No, this time was on trail. We made it out to the trail, and he just was like, I'm just walking behind him, and then he just, again, just, boom, and just kind of grind, just while hiking.
On a tree branch or something.
I think it was like a stump. You know, sometimes it'll be like trail maintenance, but they'll leave the nub. And you'll just like not see it and just
maybe
kick
this
it.
was a different time, but he sent me a photo
Did
of
he
him
also fall
like
again?
Bleeding through a Trek hat.
Oh gosh.
Were you
now
with him for that?
Yeah, that's not a funny story though, but that is a story.
Yeah.
He's so this is our first resupply together, and he kind of said it the other day, but we didn't really know each other that well. Like he stayed at my house in Logan, Utah during his bike ride, and that was one night. We had a great night. But that was only one night, and then we messaged a little bit on social media, and then we see each other at trail events, saw each other at CDT days this year, and we're like, we should hike together. Let's go, 2 injured guys, let's go kick some rocks together. I'm like, perfect. Like, this will be a ton of fun. And I mean, I've followed Jabba since getting into thru-hiking in 2015. Like, he was strong on the scene. Listening to him on podcasts while training. This is my first time hiking with the guy. I'm like, I gotta make a good impression. So I'm like hiking hard. I'm like, cause he's a hard guy. I'm like, I'm gonna keep up. I'm gonna this is gonna be good. First resupply. We're finishing up. We're getting into town. We're going into Pagosa Springs, and I'm like, where is he? Like, I'm about to be at the road crossing, but I don't know his hiking style, but from what it sounded like, we were pretty committed to we're hiking together.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll wait to hitch with him. But I'm like, all this is running through my head. Like, should I wait for him? Is that going to sound needy? Like, I don't want him to be like, jolly. I can't hike with this guy. Like, golly, he wouldn't leave me alone. It's like a lost puppy. I didn't want to be like that. So that's running through my head. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? And it's been 45 minutes and I'm staying. He's a strong hiker. And usually in the mornings, he's social mediaing. He's getting content together for the day. He has a little bit of a slow morning to himself, and then he turns it on like crazy. But I'm hiking ahead. And so I expected him to be 20 minutes behind, 15 minutes behind. But he just never showed up. I'm like, where? I'm staying at this little warming hut for a second. I'm reading the closure rules for the ski resort. I'm like, oh, that's what the ski patrol has to do to close up. I'm just hanging out. And 45 minutes, I think, go by, and finally we see him. He's like, oh my gosh, finally. And this guy is always on Do Not Disturb. He always has his phone on service while we're hiking, but he's always on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. And so I'm texting him, and again, I'm like, is it needy if I send it loud? Should I press the button that's yeah, we should notify him? No, we can't do that. First resupply. Yeah. And no, he took a tree to the head and is bleeding everywhere. And he gets up there, he's like, hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was just unconscious for a little bit. We're like, wait, what? What happened, huh? And he's takes his hat off, and he's there's blood all the way down his face, all the way down his ear. He's like, I was like, how long were you out for? He's like, I don't know. I just went under this down tree, swung my body, which we've all done. You kind of swing your pack, keep the momentum, and then another tree was right there and just stabbed him right in the dome. And he's like, I just woke up on the ground. And so, yeah, that was crazy. So then we had to get into Pagosa. We had a crazy Pagosa. We had to get into Pagosa, and we had to fix his head. And it was, he had a little bit of hair at the time, so we couldn't really see the extent, and it was just so much. There was a lot of blood going on. So we get him showered. We're looking at it, and it's that is gnarly. So we take super glue and we pinch his head together, and then we super glue it back together. Yeah, it was great. And then we spent 4 days in Pagosa this year because this guy is I love temps. I love ultra temps. And he blows through a pair in 6 days. like wears them out. He buys Lone Peaks. Maybe he told this story. And he ships his Timps and his custom orthotics home. We get 3 miles out of town the next day, and his feet, he's like, I can't hike anymore. Like we had a big resupply, lots of like high elevation. Like this is gonna be intense. And he's like, the responsible thing to do here is to go back to town. I need different footwear. Like we can't do this. So we go back to Pagosa. His lady is amazing and came out and like brought him a new pair of shoes and his orthotics, because his orthotics were currently in USPS's hands, like somewhere out there. And so lucky he had a second pair. She drives the 5 hours or whatever from Denver to Pagosa, brings him a pair of orthotics, brings him a new pair of shoes. Then a storm rolls in. We zero again. We're like, we're not going out in that. And but luckily he got to shave his head, and we got to see like how deep the gash was really, and like really super glue it. Yeah, it all worked out for the better. Yeah. But golly, that was a crazy one.
You start this thing like, this is some badass Marine backpacker who's doing everything, and then he crashes a bike, he knocks himself out unconscious.
But you know what he never did? Complain. Yeah. Not once. Yeah. And you know what? That was one of like the most annoying things to hike with this guy. I just want a little bit of camaraderie. Sure. Like, this sucks. Like, this was a hard day. But instead, I'm like, man, Jabba, aren't you glad we're at camp? He's like, I could go further. I could technically hike more. Yes. But do I want to? Absolutely not. How about you? Yeah. Oh, we could go all the way to town if we wanted to. Nah, just say no.
Yeah. He's got that military
mindset. He does. And it was great. We had a blast. Yeah. I mean, golly, I've been hanging out with him while I'm here. Yeah. Again, went to the aquarium today. We had a blast. He's like, I haven't been to the aquarium in 13 years. I was like, we had a great time.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful note to end on. Yeah. Let's do the Kuma question real quickly. Shout out to Gossamer Gear. Use code SnuggleBug for 20% off. Shelters at gossamergear.com. All right. Sean's going to hand you a Kumo with a random assortment of balls. Inside that ball is a bizarre question that you're going to have to answer.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. What is the one thing you wish you were better at? Replying to customer emails. No. Goodness. I wish I could spell better. How do y'all feel about that? Y'all good spellers?
In the era of automatic spell check with everything, I've gotten much worse.
Much worse.
I used to be plus. Yeah. I was never like I know Trance actually won the spelling bee.
I won a spelling bee.
Did you really?
My mom bribed me. I wanted a designer watch, and she was like, "You're in 8th grade.
How old
That's
were you?
stupid."
8th grade.
I think it was 8th or 6th. One of those. It was a Dooney and Burke watch. It was real dumb. She was like, "Yeah, go win the spelling bee. I'll get it for you."
Wow,
and
I was
like, okay. So I just like
with ease
studied a dictionary for like a couple of weeks.
And like it's that easy.
Well, the other kids didn't. So maybe the other kids are just dumb.
I lost the 4th grade spelling bee on the word giraffe.
Really?
Yeah.
One
ask
F
me
or 2 F's? 1 F or 2 R's?
2 F's. How did I spell it?
Yeah. How many F's and how many R's?
I think 1 F is what I said.
Yeah.
I got out. Don't put me. I just literally just like poured my heart out and was vulnerable with you, and now you're asking me to relive my 4th grade.
No, I did think I got lucky on some parts of it, because like some of the really smart girls got out on dumb stuff. Jen, she didn't ask which witch was which when they gave her the word witch, so she spelled witch and it was witch. She got out round 1. She was furious. Geez. She could have beaten me. So I got lucky with a couple of those.
Spelled nausea.
Nausea.
Yeah. That one always fucks me up.
Yeah.
It takes me like 12 attempts.
Haven't we done the Triple Crown of words that are hard to spell?
Yeah, that was in my Triple Crown. But that was long enough ago. There's no way that you just remembered that.
No, mine's like separate. That one I can never remember what the middle. Is it? Yeah, but the middle vowel, is it an A or an E? Is it separate or is it separate?
SEPARATE, I think.
Yeah, I think I always go with a double E.
Yeah. Anyways, better at spelling. Cool. Before we put a bow on this, what's next for you? Hikes, business, life?
Yeah, well, we just launched new colors just a couple days ago. So that is like, woof, that was like my horizon. Now that I'm there, we're looking over. We have more colors coming in April. So that's something to look forward to. So I'm working on that right now. The wedding is like all we can think about.
Sure.
Yeah.
I assume you'll be wearing a jolly at the wedding?
You know what? We've talked about it. It would be like one that's not for sale, probably. It'd just be like a solid. Just like one that I make for myself. Just because it's not like the brand. The brand isn't to wear like a cream long sleeve collared shirt with no hood. So more traditional attire, but possibly a jolly gear in there. And then, maybe thinking about Pinhoti next fall after we go to Pinhoti Fest every year. So maybe going to Pinhoti Fest and then hiking. Again, spending time with the family, being from Alabama, and hiking the Pinhoti next September.
Yeah. So. Oh, yeah. This has lived up to the hype. Jolly, you're awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here. Are you going to stick around for segments? Obviously, yes, because we're going to go grab a beer after this. So you got to stick around for segments.
I'm right here. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, no problem at all.
All right. We're going to take a pee break. Pause. Yep. To the Trek propaganda portion of today's show, I want to give a shout out to a program called Trevor's Spikes. Is it Trevor Spikes or Trevor Spikes? Let me get the correct name. This is from trekfortrevor.org. I've done this before in the Trek propaganda. Obviously, we've talked about the inspiration for this, which is Douglas Lair. I'm going off of rote memory here, so apologies while I actually dig up all the correct information. But his son tragically passed on the PCT at Apache Peak in, I want to say, was that 2017? Was that your year, Chance?
No, it was after
18?
that. I think could have been later than
we have the information right here. Apache Peak 2020.
Yeah.
And his father was inspired to start a nonprofit in his name. Obviously, he slipped at Apache Peak, so the entire premise of this is to get traction to hikers going through that area. I think prior to Trevor's death, hikers were obviously aware of the risks of going through the Sierra and obviously being in Washington late in the season, but I think Apache Peak was not on people's radars as being a risky area. So he's trying to raise awareness for this and specifically to get traction on people's feet so people can avoid Trevor's fate. Specifically through this program on Black Friday, you can get a 20% discount on Kutula microspikes and their K10 crampons, as well as the Camp Corsa Ice Axe, and added this year is the Black Diamond Raven Ice Axe. The discounts for these are paid for by the Trek for Trevor Foundation, and you can get yours by going to nomadadventures.com. You enter your ETA to when you expect to arrive to Paradise Valley Cafe, which is at mile marker 151, and the gear will be delivered by Nomad Ventures to the cafe for pickup prior to your ETA. The point of this program is that you get safety where you need it, when you need it, just prior to your climb into the San Jacinto Mountains and Apache Peak. To get more information about this program and Trevor at large, go to trekfortrevor.org. And thank you to Doug for sending all that information along. The other article I want to feature here is Kelly Floro. You've heard her name 1,000 times here. She recently caught up with Quadzilla to get some on-the-ground updates from the recovery of Hurricane Helene. I'm just going to read the first few paragraphs from her piece. We caught up with Jack Quadzilla Jones, everyone's favorite quadricep-having thru-hike content creator, about what's really going on the AT in the wake of Helene. Since early October, Jones has been on the ground in some of the hardest-hit areas of southern Appalachia as part of the initial disaster response effort. He's in the process of walking some sections of the AT to assess the damage when we spoke. There are some blowdowns. This is a quote. There are some blowdowns, but it's not awful. He reports from the Watauga Dam area of Tennessee, where he is now. I think most of it will be clear next spring. Some northbounders will probably have to skip some, but southbounders should be fine. To get the full update from Quadzilla, that link will be available in the show notes. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I want to plug here. So let's get to the question of the day.
Yes.
I think this is yours.
What should be free but isn't? Yes. I hope I saved what I had thought. Because all the things that when I looked it up were like sad things. Yeah. But this was something that I got it.
Okay.
Apple Music should be free if you have an iPhone.
Yeah.
That was straight ripped off from the internet. But I read that and I was like, that is so true. Apple Music should be free if you have an Apple phone.
Yeah. There's also a reason why they have like a higher GDP than I think Apple's like the fifth. If you just compare Apple versus countries, I think they're market cap would qualify as like the 5th highest GDP.
Yes.
And they don't get there by doing things that make sense and giving you stuff for free.
I've got others.
Yeah.
You go first, though.
Okay. I might only have one. I'm going to go with one that is something that used to be free, at least in my book, hasn't been free for years, and it definitely should be, which is getting air in your tires.
Place by me is free.
Is it? I need to travel there. Yeah. But yeah, once upon a time, every gas station had a free air compressor for your tires. And now literally every gas station in the Golden area, at least, is at minimum $1. Like it used to be, at first it started as a quarter. Now it's $1. There's a place at the 7-Eleven here. It's $2.50.
What?
They do have a cool thing where like you just put in the PSI that you want and it'll automatically inflate your tires to that PSI and stop. That's kind of cool. But I'd rather just have something for free.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm stopping there, I'm also going to get gas. It's a good upsell opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe grab a
And
Zin.
it's air.
Yeah. It's there. Right.
Do you have any?
Well, I said camping. Yeah, I didn't have it prepared, but I think camping. Like, it's just dirt. Just let me sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Free access to the outdoors. This is what we fought for.
Dipping sauces. Like when you're at McDonald's and you order something, you're like, actually, can I have a ranch? And they're like, oh, it's 50 cents. You're like, what the fuck?
Great point.
Dipping sauce. Aren't dipping sauces free?
And
not anymore.
Especially when you go to a restaurant and they ask you if you wanted a dipping sauce without disclosing that it's extra, and then it's like $2 more.
Yeah.
I'm taking that $2 out of your tip if you're doing that to me, by the way. That sucks.
Other notable ones, the parking space at your own job. I know you won't resonate with this, but there was street parking before I got sent home for COVID. And the street parking was like ruthless downtown. Like good luck finding it, street parking. And then the parking garage was like $25 a day. And so it's like, okay, if I cannot find parking, I'm going to miss my morning meeting. I got to park in the garage, and then it's $25 for the day. Which is just criminal.
Crazy that they don't give.
Fucking insane.
That was at your last company.
Yes. Eventually,
do you want to say who that was?
No. Eventually, when they started, no. Eventually, when they started doing return to office, like they started giving incentives like parking passes. So I got a parking pass and never returned to office.
To call that an incentive to say that you can travel to your office and not have to pay money to get there is insane.
So that's one that I liked. I also liked one commenter said once you buy land or a house, you shouldn't pay taxes on it. Because it should be yours.
Yeah, that's a whole
can of worms.
Yeah.
And then
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Because property taxes pay for the services in an area.
Yeah.
It's like you're still paying for the schools and the roads and the stuff. Like you still exist. I understand the principle behind it, but
that one I just thought was fun.
Yeah.
If you're paying for health insurance, teeth, eyes, and mental health care shouldn't be separate. It's all body.
Yeah. As somebody that's looking into company-wide health insurance right now and how much additional all those things are, it is astronomical.
Yeah. So those are some notable things that I found on the internet.
Did I have other ones? No. Oh, college.
Okay. Cool.
At minimum, it should be affordable, but as a society, we benefit when our population is smart, and to like put people into 6 figures of debt to be a functioning member of society is so fucking ass backwards in my mind. I know there's a lot of things that you could do that are socialized, but for me, college is the most egregious one. Just make people smart. Again. All right. Triple crown of cringy things. As a soon-to-be 40-year-old dad, this is very easy for me because I do a lot of these.
I've got one good one. And then the rest I'm going to have to come up with on the fly, but I'll start.
Okay.
And I don't think either of you will take mine, but I'm still going to start.
Is it the one that's in the notes?
Yes.
Can I go first?
I still don't think you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to figure it out?
No.
Okay. Because you can't. I don't think you will. If you can guess it, if you can guess what mine is, I'll take a shot of this, but if you get it wrong, you take a shot.
No. I like
those
odds.
Are not 50-50 odds.
That's good odds.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm in a lot of wedding Facebook groups because wedding planning. And so many people posting these saying, I graduated 4 days ago, or I just graduated, and it's a picture of them at their wedding. It's like, what did you graduate from? Like, you didn't, like, this isn't school. but like they treat the wedding day as the graduation, and then they say I graduated, and then they post their wedding photo. Like, I did it. I made it. The day has come.
And multiple people do this, not just like
so
one
many.
person?
And I'm like, this is so weird.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Graduated.
I can find you an example right now.
Please do.
So easily.
I can piggyback off that one and say when people get engaged and they said, I did a thing.
Did a thing.
I don't, yeah.
We did a thing.
Did y'all do a thing? Because if you did, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I think that caption just across the board is a good
just
cringy one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just searched the word graduated. Date. Yes. Keep scrolling. I'm sure there's more.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That all of these are in a row.
All
and every
of them
single
graduating.
One says it. Yeah. Wow. Take a peek at that.
Oh, hold on.
Scroll. You can scroll up.
Let me go back.
Oh, did I?
You can scroll both ways.
That's fine. Here you go.
Yeah. So this is like a group specific thing. Like if you went into other wedding Facebook groups, are they also saying graduated?
Also. Wedding Facebook groups.
So that's
people
that's
saying
trending.
they graduated. And I get it. You put a lot of time into planning a wedding. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of like stress, and like you finally did it and now you don't have to plan for it anymore, but like you're not graduating.
Is this the first post? Like after the wedding happened, their first time going public on social media is I graduated.
No, this is like in the group. This is like you're telling the group like you're going to leave. Like, I don't need to be in the group anymore. I graduated.
Okay. I was like, there should be a lot of love in the first post, not just like, it's over.
No, I graduated on 10/5, graduated 9/10, graduated 9/28. I graduated. This is the best day of my life. Hey, guys, I graduated.
It's like they're showing off.
10/12, I graduated. I graduated 10/11. Just fucking doesn't end. Like...
Honestly, for me, anything to do with social media could be considered cringy. I participate in it, so I'm not immune to the criticism. But yeah. Anyways, my first one is social media related. This one bugs me the most, and it is also just objectively funny when people do it. It's when people post photos of themselves crying. Like to be at an emotional low and then to take a photo and then to post that for everybody to see. Is like, I think that might be a generational difference because I don't see too many. I'm an elder millennial. I don't think I see anyone my age doing that, male or female. But it seems to be a more common thing in the younger. I mean, it makes sense. They're growing up with social media, so maybe it's more integrated in their upbringing, their lives. But I will never not laugh at you if you're posting a photo of yourself crying. I don't care how sad the occasion is. There's ways to portray that you are sad without that. So yeah, that's cringy. Also a little bit funny.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
My next one is...
Wait, Jolly didn't go.
Yeah, did.
What'd you say?
I piggybacked off of I did a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did a thing.
Oh, did I? If I skipped you, that's my bad.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Ooh, this one is very cringy. When couples use baby talk with each other in public. There's a Seinfeld episode about this, which Seinfeld probably got every like pre-social media cringy thing in their whatever 7 seasons. But like, no, you're schmoopy. No, you're like, when you like do that at home in the privacy of your own confines, if you bring that out to a restaurant, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, don't do that. Do that away from people. Yeah. Do you have another one? I know you didn't get time to prepare.
Yeah, I have no prep, but I feel comfortable where I'm at.
Okay.
And I like where this is, where y'all have headed.
As somebody that owns a business, it's better to not alienate yourself with people one group at a time, but that's where we are.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Next time I post a crying post about Jolly Gear, I'll just like be cheered up by knowing you're laughing at me.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be like, so it's kind of
you
beneficial.
You are providing me entertainment.
Yeah,
for sure.
right. And I'll be like, oh, now I feel better because I've helped someone today.
So is that we're just passing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. When I had one and then I forgot it.
We might have a couple of good improv ones here.
Yeah, we might. When someone tries to be quirky on purpose, like when it's not actually like a quirk of theirs, but like being different quirky makes them cool and like it's forced.
Yeah.
But like you can tell.
Yeah.
That's cringy.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to say it, but it's like this doesn't feel real.
Yeah. I have one that is similar to that. I might save it, but I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to adopt that as your personality.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm the spider person or whatever it might be.
There's there's a internet meme about it, and it's like the manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
And she's just like this girl that like pretends to be like outer spacey and like all, I don't know. It's funny, but
by the way, being quirky is cool.
Yes. If you're quirky.
But like presenting that so people are asking questions about it is probably where the line gets crossed. We're not. No one comment. This is only for YouTube. This is only for YouTube.
If you don't follow us on YouTube, you should.
Yeah.
Something happened just then.
Something happened for sure.
Oh, I gotta go again. My next one is going to be. God, it just came back and then I lost it. Oh, okay. This is a trail related one. And it's the difference between like one time's fun, too many times it's cringy. Is the like, what does that taste like game where you're like, oh, I've never had that snack before. What's that taste like? And then you get to try someone else's snacks. But like the person that just like constantly wants to try food rather than like eating their own shit.
Yogiing from other hikers.
Yeah. And like one yogi's good. But when you notice people continuing to yogi and yogi and yogi, then it's like, I don't want to really be seen near you.
Yeah. There's a whole thing happening only for YouTube right now.
Do you think that we're going to get a turn?
I hope not. No. I like that one. My last one.
Oh, I got an honorable mention.
This is one that we're both guilty of, very guilty of it, is just posting baby and pet photos, especially too much.
Too much.
I have gone through, I've graduated both levels. Before I had kids, I was posting photos of Sierra all the time, and then she's never involved anymore, and now it's all of the kids that I have in my life, or 100% of my social media content. And I know deep in my core that like if I were observing me, God damn it.
That's a good one. I've got an honorable mention too, since you're gonna be busy.
Yeah. I'm only doing this if you are.
Yeah, I hear mine right now.
Okay.
My other one is when someone wants to show you like a funny conversation they had, but they're showing you like a screenshot of a text message or something that's funny, but they have the last message sent. So it's clearly that like they made a funny joke and they're showing you the funny thing, but it's just them showing themselves being funny.
Yeah.
Hold on. Don't do it yet. Don't.
No. Wait, we're all doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some honorable mentions.
How's your hole look?
Big.
Do you have a clean hole?
It's a big one.
I want to trade holes with me.
Yeah, sure.
That one looks a little jagged.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be.
Yeah, you cut up yourself.
I'm glad the head of HR
a
is
nice,
here.
Nice big clean hole.
Other cringy things. Having a podcast.
Honestly, when in 2018 we were like, do you want to do a podcast with me? That was part of the pros and cons I weighed. I was like, that's cringy as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but who am I? Like, I'm not like not cringy.
Yeah. No, having a podcast.
Yeah, having a podcast.
Objectively cringy.
Objectively really cringy.
Yeah.
Making that all you post on social media.
This is kind of in line. Are we doing this? Someone count us down.
3, 2, 1.
I think I swallowed.
It's cold. I don't like doing the.
We're having a good time.
I think I swallowed metal. For YouTube only.
Yeah. But y'all are ahead of the time.
Yeah.
I feel like a COVID podcast. No, much worse.
We're definitely not free of criticism on this. We're definitely in the epicenter of it. It is cringy, and we are a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Not part of the solution. I have a lot. Most of these are just social media gripes that I have. And
that was foamy.
I'm just talking to you now, Jolly. It's
yeah,
just me
hey,
and you.
What's going on? I have one now.
Yeah, go for it.
I think like repeating your far out comment, like having the same, like having a themed far out.
That's very hiker, like very on-brand hiker. I love that.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, do you have an example of this?
I just like walk a lot and wear shirts.
Yeah. What's an example?
I can't call anybody out. I was on trail this summer. I can't give an example.
A repeating comment, like you put it on every waypoint, or a repeating comment like someone said there's water here, and then you put there's still water here.
No, yeah, like one person who has like a theme. And like they think they're really like it's good, but it's not. Like and like you just want to pass them.
Yeah.
Like you just want to hike past this person, but they're just one day ahead.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's cringe.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's funny. That's very like.
What would your go-to? Well, if you had to be like someone with a signature far out comment statement, what would it be?
The first thing that came to mind is that's what she said. I would just find every opportunity to drop that's what she said. But it gets to the point where it's so cringy, it is funny. And obviously that's a nod to The Office. Michael Scott is the king of cringe.
What would yours be?
For a little while on the PCT, we talked about Aqua Dump, but like changing our name to Aqua Dump, and that'd be like the repeat joke of like great water here posted by Aqua Dump.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You can make it like surface chat here.
Yeah.
Just post it on everything.
Yeah, on everything. Yeah. Some good ones are like someone's trail name being like Wild Turkey, and then their sign out is Gobble Gobble. I like that.
I like that too.
That's
good.
Like Gobble, like great camping, room for 3 tents, Gobble Gobble.
No.
And you're like, I look forward to that one.
That's tasteful humor. That's good. That's good. It's a fine line between cringe and actually very funny.
True.
That is funny. Just a couple more honorable mentions. This is kind of in line with what you're saying about like trying to make your quirks your personality. Hating popular things and being like consistently outspoken about like Taylor Swift sucks.
Too mainstream.
Yeah, and doing that for everything.
Yeah,
that's cringy.
What about the city of Portland, Oregon?
Whoa, hot take.
An entire city of people that
you know what? Hot.
Yeah.
Was that an off-air conversation we had?
Oh no! How much? No, my last Portland experience that is cringy in a very different way.
Okay, I've got another idea for you.
Oh, what's up?
Tags that just easily
that one does
that you don't need scissors for.
That one rips out.
No, it doesn't.
Not the black one. No, but the white tag rips out. Yeah.
Got it. Sometimes I don't want to damage the fabric.
Yeah, I hear you.
But a nice clean.
No, thank you. Yeah. The white one. The white one's new. The white one's new.
I have more. I'm gonna keep doing these.
Yeah, keep going.
Wow, this is the first. What question are we on?
We're still on the triple.
After
crown.
what just happened on the YouTube side, I'm lost a little bit.
I mean,
what question are we on?
Not 5 minutes ago, Jolly goes, "What are segments?"
And now here we are.
Yeah. Trial by fire.
Okay, I have 2 more.
Okay.
One is I liked this. I think when I was single, but disguised thirst traps, where someone just posts a selfie with like a caption that's like. It's better with butter. Like something that's just totally irrelevant. They just want to post a selfie of themselves.
Yes.
I've thought about this recently. I was like, granted, I am engaged, so I don't have a need to do it. But I was like, I haven't posted any like hot selfies as like an Instagram post.
Yeah.
Probably in like years. Probably since like before. Like now it's just the podcast is my personality and hiking is my personality.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it was like... You'd get ready for a bar and you'd post like a saucy little selfie. I haven't done that in so long.
I understand as a single person. Caption.
Yeah.
It's just like a really thinly veiled attempt at getting attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what social media is. And like I understand when you're single, you got to put yourself out there. You're trying to cast a wide net. But now as like a old curmudgeon-y dude, I see it for what it is, and it's just like
as a young person it's still pretty cringe.
I
mean being 27 I still people still do it.
Okay,
and it's like I'm like, oh honey, like sweetie, please.
I mean
we can see through this.
College me, I remember like because it was like we're all going to the same bars. I want like so and so guy to chat with me tonight. I know that we've got like a little back and forth thing. I'm going to post this selfie as we're getting ready where I look hot as shit. And I'm going to put like a Taylor Swift caption that says, darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. Like something like that.
That's perfect.
So cringy.
But I think there's ways you can get away with it and still not be cringy. Like posting a group Halloween pic and like inevitably the girls are always dressed slutty. You can get away with that because it's creative. Like you're doing a theme of a thing.
Fun fact. You could boil down the entire reason me and Garrett are engaged to a slutty photo. because Halloween 2020, I didn't know what to be, and I had a black, like one of those leathery black bodysuits. Mm-hmm. So I just like got a belt and put I got red duct tape and I put that shape on it, and I was like, I'm Black Widow. And I sent a Snapchat mirror selfie of me like in this suit, and Garrett sends back, "You're hot." And
as your supervisor?
Like, wow. As my manager. I was like, this guy's into me. And he shouldn't have sent that message. Well, because everyone was telling me that he liked me. And I was like, no chance. Like, that's so inappropriate. And then he sent, "That's hot." And I was like, "You're hot."
Was this a story or was this a direct?
No, it was a Snapchat that I sent to.
Right, was this a direct? Because you can do Snapchat stories. I'm not that old.
I can't believe you're saying this in the presence
I think I might have directly sent it to him. But not just him.
Okay.
Amongst other
He doesn't
people.
know that, though.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Snapchat. No, I don't think Snapchat stories were a thing at the time. I think this is before Snapchat stories. Okay. So your only option was to send a Snapchat to like a line of people. Yeah. So it wasn't weird to send it direct because that was the only option. Okay, You're just like sending it out to the masses. Okay. But yeah, so that was good photo.
This is going to sound like a cringy segue, but are you still on Snapchat? Like, are the kids still Snapchatting?
I have Snapchat specifically because Garrett still uses it, because his like guy friend groups like all have like their Snapchat groups that they'll send just shit to. But he gets mad at me because I'll watch Snapchat and he'll be like, he'll hear it in the background. He'll be like, "I sent that to you a month ago." And I'm like, I don't Snapchat people. I only have this app to keep up with like the Harper photos you send me when I'm out of the house. You know, like it's fun to send like a bad video that like you wouldn't normally send on another platform.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honorable mention for the cringe is if someone you meet new says, "What's your Snapchat?" Ooh. That is like, guys, it's 2024. Yeah. I'm 27. We're not 20.
So
we're
are
not
people
21.
not using Snapchat? No. That was kind of my more general question.
But not usually. Yeah. But I'm still.
I wonder if I have
it.
Like this year, people have, like I meet new people at a bar and they're like, "Give me your Snapchat," and I'm like, "What are you talking?"
Look, I got Snapchats from.
Got a phone number.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what he's snapping.
I love how silky these things are.
You like that?
See, it's always just Harper. These are the Snapchats I get.
And that's what you deserve.
It's my.
But it's not cringy because he's sending it just to you,
right?
He probably sent that to other people.
Oh yeah. By the way, I do that, so I'm not.
But it's cringy if like all you do, like you don't text somebody directly to their phone number, you only Snapchat them. I think that like I've seen couples where they only communicate via Snapchat as 27-year-olds.
It's so foreign to me. I don't even know what to think of it.
Yeah. I don't think I've had the thought in my brain in a while that's like I should send a Snapchat of this.
Yeah.
One more honorable mention: Facebook memories. Every day that I get Facebook memories, I click them and I go through and I delete them. I don't know any person less than myself 10 to 15 years ago.
I had it was like 5-10 years ago that I changed the settings that I think only I can see any of my Facebook photos. I hope nobody goes through, because that was the original social media, and like that's where you would come home from the bars and literally just like free association, smack into the keyboard. I would say the craziest shit, because like this is for like my 12 college friends and nobody else. Right. And then all of a sudden, like you blink your eye and grandma's on there and future employers. Like there's so many ways that this could go wrong. Yeah, you just have to burn the whole thing down. And every time I get memories, I'm like, great, here's another opportunity for me to delete 17 posts from like the past, like just decade. Yeah.
2 decades.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, hop on the mic here.
Get over here. So you referenced The Office earlier.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Office characters is Oscar.
Yeah.
Big Oscar fan. I just had a Facebook memory from like 2 days ago from like 15 years ago that said, and this is just an Oscar quote. It didn't have any other context. It was just in quotations, this line from Oscar. Didn't even say Oscar from The Office. It was just the line. It said, "Besides having sex with men, I'd say the Finer Things Club is the gayest thing about me." That's all it said in the post. It's still there.
We should do a triple crown of Oscar moments in The Office.
I like when someone comments on those posts, like they also got a memory, and then they comment, and then it gets brought to the top of your feed. So now you're in on this post that's 11 years old.
Well,
and you're
so
like,
funny.
What?
It's funny because people are like, well, on one hand, yes, cringy. On the other hand, no one's ever going to scroll back that far. You would think. But one year when we had trail days, Zach messages me. He's like, I need to know Elise's birthday. Do you know if she's like 21 or 22, like however old it was at the time.
Yeah. No, we were booking flights. I needed to know like her actual birthday.
Like her actual, the year. And I was like, I don't know the year. And she wasn't answering messages. I was like, we know the day, we know the month, we don't know the year. And I was like, I know how to figure this out.
Did you scroll to like a party, a 21st birthday post?
I couldn't find 21, but someone wished her a happy 18th.
Wow.
And I was like, Zach, I know the year.
Yeah, sometimes you can find like a driver's license photo on Facebook for some reason. Like people will be like, I got my driver's license or a permit.
Yeah.
I scrolled way the fuck back.
Wow, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. So people do it.
That's funny.
It's terrible.
Mailbag.
Howdy, this is Vegas, 1800 class of 23. I wanted to thank Chauncey and Badger for signing my chest at Trail Days and for reading my mail. Myself and a few members of my family met Strider last year in Virginia on our 2023 thru-hike, and he was such a cool dude. Hearing him share his story was very inspiring and got me excited all over again for our upcoming 2025 PCT thru-hike.
Honey, this mailbagger is a guy.
Huh?
It starts off with "Thank you for signing my chest." I just need to
I thought you were
clarify.
I thought you were calling me. I was like, I'm very confused on different levels here.
In case Jenna is listening to this, and
I was like, I don't think I gendered him during this. I will be finishing my thru-hike of the Sheltowee Trace Trail this fall, as well as thru-hiking the West Highland Way in Scotland, the end of July. I was recently featured on Mighty Blues podcast as a guest and had an absolute blast. It's now a life goal of mine to be a guest on Backpacker Radio after I finish the Triple Crown in 2027, so heads up. Thanks for the great episodes. As always, no sign off. But Vegas. This is Vegas. Yeah. So thanks, Vegas.
Yeah.
I remember signing your chest. That was.
I do. I remember it too because it's the
only chest I've signed.
Yeah, that's 1 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 5-star review.
Parentheses. Read Rachel's note.
Arguably one of the most chaotic reviews we've had. This is from Tim the Enchanted 1.
Enchanter
1. Terrible podcast. Don't listen if you enjoy hiking. JK, the show is amazing. It helps pass the time on my commute in the office, or dare I say when I'm hiking those PUD, pointless up and downs. Is that what that is? I don't have a great poop story to share with you, but I can only say that snow is 100 the best, and Mountain House, you betrayed me. Huh? Did I read that correctly?
You read that correctly.
Read it again.
That I can only say that snow is 100 the best, and Mountain House, you betrayed me.
The best is in quotes too. Okay.
Hashtag RIP socks. I do have a huge favor to ask.
They definitely use their socks as TP. That's where they had a stomach bug from a Mountain House. That's what it sounds like.
And like snow is good for
wiping the tushy. Yeah, but the sock, you never had to use a sock for toilet paper?
I haven't, but
never been sick enough.
It makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for decoding that.
Yeah. Fool.
I live by
customer emails are my life, right?
I live by the AT in the vicinity of Bear Mountain, New York, and this summer have been leaving out my yellow bear can full of Trail Magic, beer, and candy. If I may have a sticker for the can so that BPR shall be equally represented along with my other shows, 46 of 46, Slasher, ITL, CMP, and the NYNJTC. Correct answer of a riddle results in a thru-hiker specific care package. That's from Natty Bumppo. BUMPPO.
Thank you.
Jolly, you're the riddle solver here. Do you have any idea what that?
What the ending was?
Equally represented along my other shows. 46 of 46. I'm assuming is an 80K reference.
Right.
I don't know what SLASR. And the next one is ITL:CMP.
The last one's New York, New Jersey Trail Conference.
Yeah.
That's like a hiking club.
I would like everyone to know that I don't have a screen in front of me to be able to read these letters.
Oh, yeah, here.
So I have no idea.
I have a screen.
I don't need it.
Take mine. Now what's your excuse?
Oh, jeez. Well, they want a sticker for their bear can. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. And a sticker you shall have.
Yes.
Please email us your review, and we'll do that. By the way, that goes for anyone who leaves us a review. Screenshot the review and send us an email at thepodcast@thetrek.co, and we'll be very happy to send you a sticker.
As long as it's
any number of stars, just not 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yes.
Thank you, Jones. Super big thank you to our Chuck Norris Award winners on Patreon. That is Alex and Misty with Navigators Crafting, Andrew, Austin McDaniel, Ben Love, Brad and Blair from 13 Adventures, Brenton Stenberg, Brian Alsop,
Fables,
Christopher Marshburn, Coach from Marion Outdoors, Derek Cook, Eric Casper,
Friendly Ghost,
Eric Hoffman, Jillian Daniels, Greg Knight, Greg McDaniel, Griffin Hay, Would You Bring Me a Beer, Haley Buckingham,
Dallas,
Liz Seeger, Old Man Murph's Coffee Roaster, shout out Paulie, Patrick Ciancialo, Rebecca Brave, Sawyer Products, Spam, Timothy Hahn,
Solo,
and Tracy Trigger.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was
that was nice. That came
extra
easy.
Phlegmy. Yeah,
It didn't feel that way.
Chance has been
It felt dry.
vaping just for that moment. An extra shout out to Paulie, Old Man Murph's, ommcr.com. Get the delicious beans from our guy. You can follow us on social at Backpacker Radio on Instagram and TikTok, at Backpacker Pod on X, Facebook.com/Backpacker Radio. You can follow Chance.
You can find me on Instagram at Juliana_Chauncey, on YouTube at Juliana Chauncey, and you can get my book, Hiking from Home, a long-distance hiking guide for family and friends on YouTube. No, Amazon. On YouTube. Who am I?
You were reading ahead.
It's my first episode.
Jolly, what's your social?
Jolly at Jolly Gear is my email, and then at Jolly Gear is our Instagram.
I love that you led with the email.
It just came out.
He's a man who loves emails.
Just please email me. I thought I needed to recover after sounding like I hate
emailing. Start emailing you.
Please email me.
Just no product feedback, unless it's positive.
Well, no, we can take product feedback. It's just
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he feels
getting it on a regular basis is just you gotta.
Just everyone telling me I'm not good enough. Just it gets a little tiring.
We'll get a therapist couch in here.
Yeah,
we can talk
that's what we need, but it's not covered by insurance. We'll talk about that later.
Appalachian Trials and Pacific Crest Trials are my books. Follow us on YouTube.
Hi, Internet.
You got an extra good show on YouTube today.
Yeah.
By the way, double bonus plug for YouTube because at the live podcast, we are shaving Viking's beard. It's going to happen.
And his head.
If we
He's
get to
going to look like a little cue ball.
Yeah, you got to raise the money. You got to raise that money.
Got to raise the bar.
Yeah. But if you want to see the shock, the reveal of what lies underneath Jabba's beard, you got to be watching on YouTube.
For the record, I wanted the goal to be $20,000.
Oh, we went with that.
Zach blew it. All right? But I'm a good player.
Yeah,
all right?
You are a good player.
All right?
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening, and happy hiking.
Bye.